This week's Sunday session is brought to you by home brewing source of awesomeness online. More beer at morebeer.com.
I poured it in my mouth and it just wasn't going down.
My first beer was an IPA, the best IPA I've ever drank. Mostly because I brewed it.
If you have a scale that is good for measuring cocaine, you're probably good for measuring hops on cocaine.
You're scaring me.
I think the information is awesome and the audio sucks.
Make some sugary water, throw some yeast in there.
And you're going to drink good beer.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's fine.
God damn it, man. Oh, my God.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to The Session.
Special 4 o'clock edition. Oh, no, wait.
Bevo's got them boobies out in the studio.
Literally.
They're out. She's
it's one at a time.
There's a feeding going on right now.
If you look on the cam, you can see her foot.
See her foot as she's feeding.
Yeah, and know that foot is attached to a boob that's getting pulled milk out of from.
You know somebody out there has a foot fetish that's just enough for.
Dude, you know I've gotten a couple of feedback emails asking for pictures of Bevo's feet.
Have you really?
Yeah, I think I've actually passed one on to you in the feedback, but you didn't read it because you have class.
That is creepy. Bevo, would you be willing to send out pictures?
For even $100?
My feet are disgusting. That's horrible. No.
We're gonna somebody else's feet. That's all right. I'm gonna say they're yours.
All right.
I'll give them mine.
These are breastfeeding feet. Right here.
Breastfeedingfeet.com.
Oh.
That's my...
It's
probably already taken. You just made a lot of money, JP. You gotta go and buy that right now. It probably is already taken. You're gonna look it up for me right now, aren't you, Moscow? I'm looking it up.
And just tell you, these are pictures of women's feet while they're breastfeeding.
Oh, no, it's available.
It's available.
JP, you're on it.
Right. Dude, I'm just gonna quit right now.
Never buy a laptop from a radio show producer because the things that they have to look up, and I mean like in real radio, like imagine the searches that must go on. When I used to work at CBS, I'd have to do it every now and then, and I always thought, man, this is like one of the only corporate jobs you can have where you're actually expected to look up, breastfeeding feet.
And you don't make Megan's List or whatever it's called?
Yeah, it's part of your job. And as a producer, you can go home, to your wife, and she can't, get on you about all the creepy searches.
I was working.
It's all part of the job. Oh, man. Listen, I am still obsessed with golf this week.
You really are, man. And now you kind of now I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, The
last time I was this obsessed about something, I started a company around it. And I thought about that just the other night. I went to... Nate Smith had a little birthday gathering at Drake's last night just to come and have a beer, and I went there, and I was talking to somebody about golf, and they asked me, they said, you really are obsessive right now. When's the last time you were this obsessed with something? And I went, shit, you know what? It's when I started the Brewing Network.
Yeah.
When I got into home brewing, I was eating, sleeping, drinking homebrew, and I started a whole new life out of it.
Let's start a golf channel.
Could be a good idea.
No,
other than the fact that
is taken, I'm positive.
The Golf Channel's taken already. Shit. No, I know. I'm watching that 24/7 now too. The problem is I was a lot more. I should say I was a lot less lazy when I started the Brewing Network. So it wouldn't be a successful endeavor now because I'd phone it in. Even though I think it's a great idea to get access. Because if you think about it, I started the BN under the premise that people would learn along with me how to brew. I didn't know shit, and I had all these dumb questions. I thought people will come along with me on the journey. Well, the same would be for golf. I am just as bad, if not worse, at golf as I am or was at home brewing. So the premise
I'm not sure that's possible.
is the same. Yeah. But I'm telling you.
Well, fine. Let's just change our format. Next week, it's golf.
It's the golf net.
Let's wrap up this homebrewing thing today.
See, there's the golf channel, but is
I
there the
can do the
golf
golf
net?
thing.
I don't think so, but you have to get really
Tasty's
good.
into it.
You have to get really good at talking about golf now, because you can't play.
You know what?
No.
That was not the case when I started the BN. I wasn't any good. I was good at asking questions about beer.
Right.
And I think I'd be good at asking questions about golf in the same regard.
It'd be much more mixed media.
Yeah.
Much more video.
That's true.
Yeah.
And really, the staff, you're right, Tasty, the staff is essentially the same. Tasty's into golf.
Shit, yeah.
I quit.
Bevo's out. She's like, fuck it. You can
We can still
drink.
beer.
Yeah.
That's true.
I got to stop you from drinking.
I mean, think about it. We can talk to all those people who like rot out, custom golf carts.
Yeah.
Grips.
There's a whole line of, I'm telling you.
Let's do it.
If the BN down the road were to branch out, I think it would be into golf, man. I'm telling you, I'm dreaming about it. I walk around the house with a golf club in my hand half the day now. If I'm on calls for the BN, I'm taking swings. Yeah. I got the headphones in. I'm taking swings. I'm terrible. I'm awful at this game, but I'm obsessed with it.
You get a few good shots, and you get the bug.
That's what it is.
A few good shots.
It's kind of, and again, it is akin to beer because my second batch of beer was great. And that's kept me going for 7 years.
Right.
That one great batch of IPA.
For 7 years and 5 batches.
It's kept me going for 7 years. And golf is the same.
This one has a weak mind.
In 18 holes, it only takes one great shot, and you go, oh, I can do this.
That wasn't that bad at all.
Pro.
I can stick it every time like that.
Yeah.
Well, it did roll up and bounce around.
Right. It was all luck.
Yeah, I hit that big divot on the green, but other than that.
Well, the worse you are at golf, the more you get to play, I shot 75. Oh, yeah, well, I shot 130, and I paid the same as you, so.
That's true. It's a good point. And that is how bad I am. I'm a 20 handicap, which is like, a 20 handicap is approximately, if I have this right, I might be more than that. I know that when I go golfing with the whites, they're my rules guys. I like to play by the rules. I'm not one of these cheater golfers. Even though it makes my scores look terrible, I'm a rules guy.
Right.
Anyhow, they set my handicap for me. I get 2 strokes a hole.
Wow.
Is that so? So I get 36 gimmies in a game. Is what I still can't.
It's not enough.
I still can't win. So I'm shooting 120s. It's really bad.
I on a 9-hole, I'm 23 to 24 over par consistently.
Yeah.
But I mean, you and I played a couple weeks ago. Previous to that, I hadn't played in 3 years.
Right.
But it's nice to know that you can pick the game back up, and I know what I'm going to shoot.
Just as bad.
It's still going to be the exact same. I'm not going to get any worse.
Yeah.
Because I'm a natural. I'm a pro.
But on a serious note, I think I think I like golf because I can be somewhat obsessive compulsive about these things, and it allows me to focus on one thing. It's a very difficult game to play, and I'm so focused on it that I can actually get away from the other shit. Just the stuff you're kind of always thinking about, whether it be work or whatever. Golf is a game where nothing else matters when you're focused on that activity. Because you have to be.
Right.
In order to get that stupid little thing into that stupid other little thing that's only slightly larger than the stupid little thing.
Are we talking about sex or golf? Or
basketball.
Sex works that way, doesn't it? It's the only thing you're focused on when you're involved in it.
No, that's not true. I could be all over the place
really?
during sex.
I don't envy you.
Par 1.
Yeah.
Now that Bevo's out of the room, totally saw side boob when she was feeding her kid.
I
didn't mean to. Was that a total accident?
What about side foot?
I didn't mean to. She's behind you, JP.
Well, I turned around.
Unintentionally.
I turned around and she went to turn her chair, and I was just looking at her like, hey, and then I'm looking down, and suddenly she had the thing. I'm like, wow. All right, now I feel uncomfortable.
That's what I'm saying. For you to turn around and look at her
I was just
while
talking
she's...
to her.
I see.
I was like, hey, you're feeding the kid. Yeah, and then the blanket fell down. I was like, oh, now I'm embarrassed.
Just consider her baby like a tassel and just covering him. It's just a tassel.
You know what? This is my new dream, to open a strip club.
Yeah.
And the strippers have tassels that are babies. They're just 2 babies taken from her.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. I think it'd be awesome.
You have to come up with a good name, a clever, like the nursery.
Suckers.
It's the name of the strip club.
Nursery's pretty good.
You have to go. I'm going down to the nursery.
Or reality, I guess.
Right.
Let's go down to realities.
All right, great show planned for you today. It's actually a good beer show, even though we've not talked about that in the first 10 minutes, but you're used to that. We've got Matt Brophy. He's the brewmaster and COO of Flying Dog Brewery on the program. If you're not familiar with their beer, and their beer's widely distributed, so you should be, you might be familiar with their labels, done by Hunter S. Thompson's artist, Stedman, and they're very cool. I've always been a fan of his art, and I don't now Moscow, you're an artist. I tend to not go toward the more abstract or odd looking art. I don't know why, but I don't understand it. But Stedman is an exception for me. I've always really liked it. I can see his weirdness in it, and I like it.
Well, there's something pure about that. Like, you don't need to be talked into something being good. You just look at it, and it's either pleasing to your eye or it's not. And his stuff is weird, but it's somehow pleasing.
It is cool. It's also cool. Like, for as long as he's been doing it, it's still relevant to me. It's still a modern looking piece of art to me, even though he's probably doing it back in the '60s, right? So
no one does it. No one has a vision like that. No one's doing anything like that. Still,
he's got a specific style for sure.
Because he does it pretty well, and it's like the messy but focused at the same time.
Yeah,
because there's the ink spots and all that kind of nonsense. But
and there's some cartooniness to it, but it's not a cartoon.
A lot of cool color use, a lot of cool stuff about it.
It's very cool.
Flying Dog brought him out to GABF one year, several years ago, and I got him to sign one of our old More Beer shirts.
Nice.
So I have a old with like the pretzel taken out of it.
Yeah.
Ralph Steadman on it. It's folded. I want to get like a frame. For it because it's pretty rad.
That is pretty rad.
Yeah.
So we'll find out that story, how they ended up with Stedman, and because it's a very cool thing to have on your bottles. I mean, to me, that's a home run when you're coming up with a brewery plan and you're like, why don't we get Stedman to do the art? What an amazing opportunity. So we'll find out how that came down. Of course, we'll find out about all the beer. 888-401-BEER if you want to call in and ask questions, or you can join Bevo in the chat room by hitting the chat button. She's in there today when she's not feeding. She'll be in there.
And even when she is.
Or shopping on Target.
That's true, she did. I yelled her. I went out there like, what is this? What are you on vacation? Get your ass to work. So she brought the baby in here and got to work.
There you go.
All right, we'll also be talking to, we're going to do a segment later on. Moscow, you brewed with Doc today.
I did.
An extract batch.
Yes.
I'm curious to know when the last time Doc did extract was.
It's probably been 10 years.
Really? He says he does extract now.
Oh, he does?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't the impression. But
we'll ask him.
Ask him when he's here. Yeah.
We'll find out. So they had a brew day. We're going to be talking about advanced extract techniques with Moscow, and his friend Phil, who you brew with, is here.
Glad to be here.
So we'll talk to them, and Doc's not here quite yet, but he will be.
He's finishing up the batch.
So we got a good show planned for you today. Couple of announcements you need to know. My show, Carpool Showdown, on Coffee TV. First episode airs tonight. I thought it was last week, but they pushed it back a week. So it's at, I think it's at 9 o'clock on Coffee TV in the Bay Area. And I think episodes will be available online. It's my second season doing it, and I think they're going to have me record 2 seasons over the summer. I think I'm getting a 2-season deal.
Nice.
Right now.
Need a writer?
I didn't even know it. No, there's nothing to it.
God damn it.
There's nothing to it. I don't do anything. I sit down. They give me my games. I just host it and make fun of people.
Who drives the car?
Jen, my producer, Jen Coleman.
Did you ever get nervous? Does she suck at driving?
I can't pay attention, luckily, because I can get nervous with other people's driving. It's part of my control freak.
That's what I'm asking for, yeah.
But I'm facing the other direction most of the time. I'm turned around interacting with the contestants, so I hardly see it.
Which is real safe.
Yeah, it's real, right. I have my seatbelt on. Yeah.
But, I've watched that hours and hours of that show.
Oh, thank you, Tasty.
And I've never seen any sort of traffic issue come up like she goes, like it slams on the brakes.
Yeah, there's not really much. There's been a break. An increased breakage here and there, but we're in the carpool lane, so it tends to go pretty smoothly.
Nice.
It's a fun show, and anyway, it airs tonight. You can check it out or check it out online over on coffeetv.com.
So would you stop being my friend if I told you the first time I heard about that show was on Friday at your beer party?
No, not at all. I don't know why I've decided to even promote it on this show. I don't say anything to anybody about it. I don't know why.
I don't have cable and or watch regular TV.
No,
I had no idea.
It's not that.
Jen's like, not that many people know about it.
Yeah, it's really.
No, it's interesting.
It's highly rated on their station, if that means anything, which is why they like it so much.
Well, BYOB was highly rated on their station
because the whole station staff is all tuned in.
That's right.
Well, they have like 89 TVs around that whole like station in the waiting room and all that.
So it's pretty good. We're very big in prisons and in the ghetto. I think that's where most of our demographic
I think
is.
rehab too. There's a rehab somewhere.
There is, yeah.
I think because I witness commuting every day on my own, I don't need to watch it on TV.
Right. That's a good point. It's a good point. Anyway, check it out if you're
Sorry.
so inclined. Club night this year for NHC. What's going on with that, JP?
Club night. We, as in the BN Army, are going to have a booth finally at Club night. It's our first booth. And a couple of us are in charge of getting beer to pour. So if you are coming to NHC, and more specifically Club Night, and you have some homebrew that you want to bring, either it's extra homebrew that can't fit on your club's booth, or you don't have a proper club and we are actually your club, please bring us beer. We want to pour beer with you. We want to pour your beer, talk about your beer. After all, this is your homebrew club. So if you are coming and you have beer to donate, or if you know a friend who's coming and you can't make it, but you still have beer and you want to have your beer represented at the BN Club booth, send it along with your friend.
All right.
For more information, give me an email at jp@thebrewingnetwork.com, and I'll put you in touch with my guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Good way to do it.
Thanks.
All right, there's a couple links on our homepage you need to know about. For one, there's an Amazon link right there on the homepage, and if you do Amazon shopping, you can do your shopping as normal. But if you go through that link, we get a little cut of the action. So you don't really change anything out of your pocket, but Amazon gives us a little portion of your spending.
Just a little taste.
You guys have been doing it a lot, and I appreciate it. So it's just an easy way to help out. People are always asking how to help, and it's no more out of your pocket. Just do your normal Amazon shopping. Some people even save it as their bookmark.
And some people even buy breathalyzers.
Oh.
Per last week's discussion.
Yeah, after my PSA last week, thank you for sending that to me also, Moscow. I at the end, I kind of said, look, just go get a breathalyzer off of Amazon. That's where I got mine. And they have a good selection of them. You can decide if you want to go cheap. I'd go somewhere in the upper to mid range if I were you, because I've used some of the cheaper ones. You can get them for like $30.
Yeah.
But you'll notice that, like when you're drunk, for example, it'll read all over the place. Mm-hmm. And that's not going to do you any good. You really want, it's worth spending a little bit of money in about the $50 to $70 range. You can get a pretty darn good one. And anyway, after my PSA last week, someone clicked the Amazon link and bought a breathalyzer.
Backtrack Select S80 Breathalyzer Professional Edition, $150.
Nice, they got the good one. And so not only did we help them, they helped us.
I like the other purchases around that. Like there's
dildos?
The condom 24-pack.
Yes.
Is there really?
That's correct.
I didn't know you could buy condoms on Amazon.
Yellow beeswax block. I think there's a lube in there somewhere.
The condoms
cocoa
are
butter.
Okamoto polyurethane condoms. Someone's allergic to latex.
That's awesome. In case you're worried that we can see who is buying these products, we can't. They send us a report so we know what our commissions are. They let you know the products that they kind of encourage you could get to know your demographic. Apparently, we should be advertising condoms on the show here.
Someone else.
Case in point.
Right.
Someone else got Jump Around, the song that we were playing at the end of the show. Someone was inspired and downloaded it.
Downloaded it.
Through the BN's link.
We're moving the market here.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got 7 cents from that. Thank you very much.
Love it. All right. So it's a cool way to help. Also, if you need keg or tap products,
yes,
we now have a relationship with Micromatic.
That's true. If you guys are in the market for some draft supplies, and Micromatic really is kind of the industry leader in that whole thing. They make a lot for commercial, and a lot of homebrewers buy it. So if you're into that, go to the forum. The link is too long to read right now. So go to the forum under general beer information, and I think the topic is like Micromatic sponsorship link. Something like that. So click on that. We get a little piece of that. Also helps us out, helps you out, because you get some really solid tapping equipment. So
beautiful.
Yeah, Micromatic's great.
All right. What else do I have? Shop in the BN store. I just got some new Hop Grenade shirts in. More on order too, so we'll keep it updated as much as possible.
Who are you calling a moron?
Yeah. Did I? Moron. Oh, yeah, I did. New iPhone and Android apps. You can go to iTunes and search BN Mobile or Android Market BN Mobile. It's a free app. The old one does not work. I still get emails from time to time, people saying, God, this app hasn't worked for months. What's going on? And I'm like, well, you haven't listened in months either. There's a new app, and it's free, and it works like 99.9% of the time. Unless I really fuck something up, that thing is on. So do it that way. All right, subscribe and join the BN Army. It puts you in the raffle for the More Beer monthly donation giveaway. More Beer, of course, brings you this Sunday session and every Sunday session. Go check them out at morebeer.com. Get all these updates and more over on Twitter and Facebook. Send your show ideas to Scott the Jew, scott@thebrewingnetwork.com. I'm now running into people saying, like, out at different places, I sent my, and I love this, by the way, I sent show ideas in. I haven't seen them on the show. Well, where'd you send them? Over to Scott. Perfect. You're doing a good job. Just keep sending them over to Scott. They weren't complaining that you're not getting them through. What I'm saying is, I used to have to sit and listen to these ideas over and over, and I could give a shit. And now I'm just like, oh, yeah, no, you're doing the right thing. I'm sure Scott's on it. If you send it to Scott, it's in the pipeline. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
He's got us booked way out, though, so we're booked way out there.
It's no guarantee, everybody.
So, anyway, send your ideas to Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com. Send feedback to feedback at thebrewingnetwork.com. Everything else goes to JP, just for the hell of it.
That's right.
What's our Twitter game today, JP?
Our Twitter game today is Justin is skydiving and his chute doesn't open. What are his last words? I want to know what you think Justin's last words would be. Last words on Earth before he becomes one with the Earth and turn into a big wet pile of jelly.
I like this Twitter game. I like this
a
Twitter
wet
game
pile
a lot.
of Justin?
Wet pile of Justin.
Yeah. What a way to go. I hope I go on the golf course. I don't know how that would happen, but that's where I want to go now.
I saw a movie about
that once. Such a douche.
He is turning into like a golf douche, isn't
You're
he?
such a douche.
Wait till you see my golf clothes before you start calling me a douche. I
can't wait.
I have awesome golf clothes now.
You would.
In the whole thing. All right. I know that we're supposed to talk to our AHA candidate here in a couple minutes. Probably get him on the line. I'm going to talk to David Kidd today. And it's almost time to vote.
Yeah, he's the last one.
So we've gotten through all 7, and I think the voting begins right away. You can go to homebrewersassociation.org and check it out. You want to go into the members page and vote. There are 7 people vying for 3 slots on the AHA governing committee. I'm on the committee, as is Jameel.
Oh.
Chris Graham from More Beer, you know him.
True, yeah.
Gordon Strong, our friend Gordon Strong, he's on that committee. Drew Beecham. A lot of good people. And we're looking for 3 more, so you can vote. And if you're an AHA member, then that's exactly what you should do.
3 more good people.
Yeah, 3 more good uns.
What do you think? Can we do some feedback or something while we wait?
I think we got him on the line now.
Yeah, let's talk to him.
David is a dude, right? You ever met a chick named David?
No. I met a girl cat named Hugo, though.
Yeah, we have that now. David Kidd, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, David, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing today?
We're doing all right. Thanks for being on the program.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So you're running for the AHA governing committee.
I'm giving it my best shot.
Have I met you, David? Because your name sounds extremely familiar to me.
David's pretty, normal.
That's a good point.
I'm not sure if we have yet. I saw you guys last year in San Diego, but I think I neglected to come up and introduce myself.
Oh,
what a jerk.
That's fine.
There's a strike against me, but I'll make sure in Seattle this year I spend a little bit more time.
Great. How long have you been homebrewing, David?
Well, I was first introduced to the hobby by my sister, and she's been homebrewing for quite some time, and started when she moved out to Eugene, Oregon for a little bit. And she came back home to Rochester, New York, where I'm from, and kind of introduced me to her homebrews, and that was about 10 years or so ago. But it really was about 2 years ago when I was introduced to Dave Turbenson, the founder of Midwest Supplies, when I started to get into homebrewing.
Okay. So just a couple years, and you've got...
Yeah, I'm probably the newest guy of the folks that are running. I'm still a relatively new homebrewer.
Well, that's all right, because in my experience, it's the new guys that have a ton of passion. Just like when I got into it, man, I didn't want to do anything else but home brewing. So
it's been a blast, and I've both of the people that I've gotten into it. I enjoy showing folks in the neighborhood what brewing's all about, and those other more experienced brewers that I spend time with, both at Midwest and outside of it. It's just, homebrewers are a great group of people, really smart, really interesting, and a lot of fun to be with.
Sure. Well, we're drunk half the time, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely right.
Do you have a homebrew club that you're a part of out there?
I don't have a homebrew club that I'm a part of. It's I spend most of my homebrewing with the guys at Midwest Supplies and our customers, so that's kind of been the homebrew club that I've been a part of. And one of the things I'm proud of is we're starting to get more involved in our various brewing communities, and so We're now part of the Minnesota Craft Brewers Guild, which has been fantastic. So I've been spending time with brewers like that.
Beautiful. Okay. And you've been to, you said you went to the San Diego National Conference. Was that your first conference?
That was my first one, yeah.
They're fun, right?
It was a blast, although somebody did make me dress up as a bunny for the costume night. But aside from that, I had a great time.
Apparently, JP here's a furry.
Well, I think it's brave that he did that.
to do that, right. And you're going to go to Seattle?
Too.
And you're going to go to Seattle this year?
Absolutely.
Nice. Okay. Well, tell us why you'd like to be a part of the governing committee.
Sure. There's a couple of reasons, really. The first, as I mentioned, is, at Midwest and playing a big role in that company, one of our big focuses is we try and get back to the brewing community. And as I mentioned, we're now members of the Minnesota Craft Brewers Guild, and it really began a year ago when I reached out to the AHA and became a part of the survey subcommittee on the governor's committee and helped out with the retailers subcommittee as well. And it's just part of our values and philosophy at the company is we want to make sure we're an active part of the community and doing our fair share. I think the other reason why I want to be in is to help strengthen the retail network of homebrew shops out there. The industry, as you guys know, is growing really quickly, and there's a ton of new homebrewers. And I think I want to do our part and my part to help make sure that there's excellent stores out there where people can buy good ingredients and good supplies, and so that's kind of a second reason why I want to be involved. And the third is I want to help represent newer brewers at the AHA, and I think that sort of speaks to who I am right now. But I think it's important for the organization going forward to continue to welcome newer folks into the hobby and cultivate the serious brewers of tomorrow.
Okay. Wow. Well, you're definitely involved on the retail side, and we need that. We do have the retail subcommittee that's working on things. David, let me ask you this: Jake Keeler is one of the guys on the board, and he's I think head of the retail committee. If I voted for you, David, would you be willing to kick Jake Keeler in the nuts for me?
I do have to say Jake's a pretty darn good guy.
Yeah.
He and I actually had a beer at Thursday night at one of the local events here. So I'll tell you what, if it got me elected, I might take a good swing, but I don't think I can actually follow through.
He's dedicated. That's all I was looking for.
At least it's one of those flinching nut shots where you just flinch.
Right.
You go right for it, and every guy's going, what?
What is your background outside of brewing, David?
Sure. Well, it's a good question. So right now, as you guys know, I'm the owner and the CEO of Midwest Supplies.
Okay.
And prior to doing that, I actually was in banking for a number of years and consulting before that. So pretty varied business background, and I ultimately was looking for a good place to stay and got hooked up with Dave Turbidson, the founder of the business, and he and I hit it off, and I've been involved with the company now for about 2 years, a year and a half, and it's been an absolute blast. I think I've got probably the best job in the country.
Wonderful. I think that because homebrewing is growing, and certainly the retail side growing, we do need, business professionals. This is outside of the AHA here. It's just me talking about. I think we do need business professionals in homebrewing. A lot of us, myself not excluded, we kind of learn business in the business,
right,
in the industry, which is a great way to learn. But we don't come with maybe some of the tools that David has, having been in banking and things like that before it.
Yeah, a lot of homebrew shops are run by hobbyists, by people who love homebrew, and they want to strike out and do that, but they don't have the business skills to make it a business. And I think a lot of homebrewers are going to go, well, it shouldn't be a business. It's all about homebrewing. Well, but it's a business.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a business. You want to survive and thrive and expand and offer more things to everybody that you love. And
right.
Yeah.
Now, if David didn't drink beer, for example, then I'd be like those homebrewers who say, well, listen, that would be wrong. You can't be in this business and not drink beer, David.
Right.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that, and that's one of the downsides of the occupation is I have to constantly drink beer.
Yeah. And actually, let's just get to the point. Are you in fact hammered right now?
Right.
I've had a beer, but I still would be under the legal limit.
I don't know then.
Has your waistline grown over the last 2 years that you've been a homebrewer?
It absolutely has.
Then you're doing a good job.
It's a hazard of the business.
It's an occupational hazard.
Right. Well, keeping with the tradition of this year's election, I am going to switch my endorsement for this week over to David Kidd, ladies and gentlemen. And you can go to homebrewersassociation.org and read more about David. His bio will be up there and probably a picture. Did you send in a recent picture, David, or did you do one of these, just out of college photos?
No, it's a recent photo, but it's one that the guys at the shop have already made fun of me for.
Okay. Well, I didn't look at it ahead of time, so I won't get to contribute to that party. But everyone can go over there, and if you'd like what David had to say, you can read more about him and vote there. And David, I certainly wish you luck in the election, man.
Thanks, guys. No, I appreciate the call, and I'm really looking forward to having a cold one with you in Seattle.
Sounds good. We'll see you there.
Okay, guys.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
There you go, David Kidd, and that is the last of our 7 candidates that you can go vote for over at homebrewersassociation.org.
I think we did a great job doing it.
Yeah, we've made their decision easy by endorsing all 7 of them.
Well, technically, the endorsement has moved each week, so it just depended on what week you placed your vote,
Right. Where you are in the archives.
Right.
Yeah, I got it.
Anyway, what's most important, because obviously all these candidates have some great ideas and are homebrew enthusiasts, and really what we're doing is offering advice on the committee anyway. What's most important is that you vote. If you're a member, it's your membership, it's your club. So if you are an AHA member, please go vote and pick your representatives. And we're the people who try to help speak for you. So it is important that you vote. You can make a difference or something.
Yeah, you could.
I think I think it's my 3rd year. Once June hits, once the conference hits, I will be on. It'll be election year for me.
Are you going to run again?
So I don't know. I haven't decided that.
How much work?
If I do, though, I won't get any work done because I'll be campaigning all year. Right. It's an election year. I won't. I won't have time to give advice.
No.
I haven't decided if I'm going to do it again. I like it.
Yeah.
It is not an inordinate amount of work.
Yeah.
There's a monthly call that you have to sit in on, and I should say that you get to sit in on, because there's a lot of cool topics that come across the board. Gary will send us things that he needs advice on, and we'll also make recommendations of things we want to discuss that we think that the AHA should be paying attention to. And so that happens monthly. There's several emails that go out throughout the month that, sometimes require a response.
Could you be doing more work, or is there only so much to do?
Sure.
Underachiever.
Yeah.
I point at you.
I mean, sure. There's more you could do. It's not a requirement, thank God.
No way I would have run for that shit.
Right. I don't know. I like it. I like being involved. I certainly like the group of people on the committee. It's really a good group, and a lot of them have pretty passionate about this stuff. So.
I'd say that too if I was on the spot.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
I'll tell you. There are times. Sometimes you don't know what to do, I'll feel guilty on occasion. Like, what am I? Maybe somebody else should be here. I don't know what to do. You don't have all the answers to all the questions. Like, you're there to give advice, but not every and I think this is the same for everybody on around that table. Not every topic that comes up is your area of expertise. I'm on the club committee because I think I have a good feel for clubs and how brewers work together. We certainly have some pretty active club people here at the BN with Tasty and Doc, and so I feel comfortable contributing to that, or things on the website side about their forum. But when stuff comes up about, say, competitions, I don't know if I have a lot of input or solutions to the problem. They've got some real problems with the competition. They're good problems to have. As you guys know, we talked about last week, we can't possibly provide enough space or enough judges for all the people that want to enter into the National Homebrew Conference.
Yeah.
And so it's a nice problem to have where all the slots are full and people are competing at that level. But it's still a problem that more people want to enter, and we can't accommodate all of them.
Yeah. The competition is getting into the competition.
Yeah.
That's what's going to turn into that.
So
it's a lottery. It's going to be a lottery.
Right.
You have to pre-enter.
Well,
you have to send one beer in to enter to see if you're in the lottery.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, that'd be something.
I have ideas, and they kind of go in that vein where you have to pre-qualify, or if you win a medal one year, you're you get to do something the next year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Tasty should take my place on the board next year.
Make it an invitational.
And I might have to recommend Tasty runs for the committee.
Let's do feedback.
So there are times that I feel useless.
I love it.
But other times it's good. Why are you so excited about feedback?
I don't know, because I like feedback. It's a good segment. I enjoy it.
Did we do feedback last week?
Yeah, at the end of the show.
Sure.
Did I do it with that sponsor that's listed on my sheet there?
Yes.
So I need to do another sponsor. How about we do Danstar this week?
Let's do it.
Yeah, feedback's brought to you today by Danstar, and they're giving out. What are they giving out, Moscow?
A professional brewing course.
Oh yeah,
I think it's valued at like $3,500.
Wow,
a full course.
Beautiful. All right, so go to danstar.com. You can check it out. Plus, there's a banner on our website. You can just click through that way too if you want to go check.
Yeah, you can enter as many times as you want. So go check them out.
Love it.
Oh my God!
You've got mail.
Kick ass.
Was I too excited about feedback? Am I overselling it?
Well, I don't. I don't like being derailed in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So
let's go to break.
But it's fine. It's like, all of a sudden you too. It's not next week yet, JP. It's still my show. Goddammit.
I am all jacked up on caffeine. I'm sorry.
All right. Dear Brewcasters, as with any proper feedback email, I must begin with the obligatory great job. I love you guys. You saved my life just by bringing blah, 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 blah. With that out of the way, I know this isn't proper show feedback, but it is feedback I need from you guys. In my very small hometown, there's a brewery that opened in the 90s. When it opened, it won a ton of awards and was the place to stop for the locals and tourists alike. At some point in 2002 or 2003, the original owner, brewmaster, sold the business. The new owner employed her husband to the brewmaster position. Since these changes, the beer has gone way downhill. The distributors have dropped the account, the locals refuse to drink there, and the tourists no longer make it a point to visit. I've heard nothing but horrible things about the beer. So... Let's see, he said there's an IPA, a Hefeweizen, and a Pilsner, and they're all undrinkable. He says, I've always wondered what some of the off flavors in the beer tasted like, but with no background and tasting examples to tune my palate, I've never been able to pick them out of the beer. But now I can. The Pilsner was a cloudy urine color that had... Now, urine is there's many shades of urine.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, is it urine after eating a vitamin B, for example?
I'm sure he means it's just the standard, typical
urine.
But
I'd say there is no standard urine.
That's right.
And I would second that statement.
Okay, so I'm sure he's talking about the stereotypical standard color of urine.
Well, we don't like stereotypes here.
I don't know that.
He's a urine racist.
If your standard urine is cloudy,
you're an idiot.
All right, so he says, the Pilsner was a cloudy urine color, it had no head, and did not look very appetizing. Partly due to the glass it was served in. From 2 feet away, the beer smelled very strong of buttered popcorn.
Oh, that's so good.
When I took a drink, it was slimy. A slimy feeling and tasted like butter, not beer. The hef was crystal clear and had a similar mouthfeel. And the IPA was a hop bomb with little malt, but had a moldy malt taste in the background.
That's good.
I feel like these are not subtle one-off batch mistakes, but deeply rooted issues within the brewery. The question, finally, is how do I help them fix the situation? How do I tell someone their beer's terrible and that it's probably something they could fix by adjusting the process? The brewery has meaning to me. I grew up there, and it sucks to see it doing so bad. I figured since you know so many pro brewers, you might have some insight on how I could appropriately and tactfully inform them.
This is a great question.
Oh, this happens to me all the time.
Thanks.
I'm living this.
Thanks from your future Drunk of the Week winner, Corporal Meister, 1st Air Force Fighter Squadron, Northwest. P.S. Yep. Well, Tasty, do you want to start?
Yeah, I'm your guy here.
All right. What do you got?
Well, I'm the guy that goes to brewers and tell them. I'm the stupid guy that tells them about their beers, whether they want to hear it or not.
Are you able to do it tactfully, Tasty?
Yeah, sure. You always couch it with some praise, right? Like, oh man, I really like the way you've hopped this beer, or something good about it.
So you lie up front.
No, it's truly something. It's truly something that we would both agree.
Yeah,
but that it is hopped right, or it's in a glass, it's liquid, whatever. Anything I can say. Right. Well, this is really clean glassware you have here.
Sure.
Your servers are
look
hot.
Look at that lacing. Oh, it's gone. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
This isn't solid.
I give it the best I can to say something positive.
All right.
But, the idea is to move the beer along. And that's what this guy's got to do. Now, I would recommend that he have what I would call intervention, right? So he gets other guys besides just him to approach him in a group. Like, we'd like nothing better than for this place to have the best beer in the world. it's close to us. We like you. We'd love to drink here, but your beer is not very good, and we'd like to help you. And what can we do? Well, amongst if you got people that have good palates, there's certainly going to be a value to the guy.
Yeah.
Now, the main part is getting the guy to agree that the beer needs improvement.
Right.
Because 80% of the beer drinkers don't have that good a palate. So he's got this whole mass of people that are saying, "Oh man, I love that IPA. It's amazing." Yeah. Or that Hefeweizen. That I like how you made it so clear. That makes it so much better.
Right.
He's getting a lot of that, and he's tying into that. Yeah. What he's not tying into is the fact is that eventually people are going to move towards good beer, and he's going to be left behind.
Yeah.
And that's where you can help him and help yourself by making him have better beer. So yeah, honest, you got to come out and tell the guy.
Yeah.
And in person, not like via a letter or something?
No. Just
got to be in
first
person.
you got to introduce the concept of getting other people's opinion about the beer.
Yeah.
See how don't come in and say, "We got to talk to you about your beer." We're going to tell you all the shitty stuff.
And
tell him you want to help him, because in that vein, that's what you want to. You want to help the guy.
Sure. In addition to that, because I agree with Tasty, but you have to be able to. Somebody in your group there has to be good at reading people, because you could say those things till you're blue in the face if the person on the other end is not receptive. So like Tasty said, you have to start with the premise that he's willing to hear that the beer needs improvement, and you're there to help, not to be a dick.
Otherwise, it's wasting.
But there are people out there that are absolutely convinced that what they're doing is exactly right. It's exactly the beer they want to make. And then, I'm sorry to tell you, you're going to lose your favorite watering hole until they either go out of business or somebody buys it and you get to have a fresh start. Because there is a point where you just can't go past that brick wall.
Yeah, it's a brick wall.
The other thing I would add is, I think a lot of people who are very well intentioned, they start that conversation by listing their qualifications.
Oh yeah,
mm-hmm. And that's not a very good way to go, because you got to think about from the brewer's perspective. They hear homebrewers come in and say how great they are all the time.
Okay,
I won all these medals. I'm a BJCP. This and all of that may be wonderful qualifications if you use them appropriately. But you have to know that they hear so many people who don't use those appropriately, who aren't maybe a very good judge, even though they are certified. So don't start with your list of qualifications. I prefer to start with whatever the particular style is. Let's say it's a Pilsner. I prefer to start by talking about what I really like about a great Pilsner. And if you're qualified to talk about a great Pilsner, it'll come out in your description of a great Pilsner. And I guarantee you that the brewer knows the description of the Pilsner. Mm-hmm. He probably thinks that's what his beer is. But it allows you to now, he'll be able to relate to you. He'll be able to say, well, you're right. I do love those noble hops and some of those spicy characteristics. And as he listens to you describe the beer, that's your credibility. Then you move forward by saying, this particular Pilsner is lacking in the ... And then you can start to tell him which parts of a great Pilsner you feel are missing from his Pilsner. Mm-hmm. And I feel that you're both setting up credibility and starting a conversation at the same time. And it's just, in any situation, you might insult somebody, and that's the fact of this endeavor that you're about to embark upon.
Oh, you absolutely will.
But the nice thing is that is a very palatable way for a brewer to hear about their beer, I think.
Yeah, find a common ground. It's like, for instance, I'll say, well, what do you think about Blind Pig as an IPA? Mm-hmm. They'll go, oh, man, it's the best beer in the fucking world. Well, why wouldn't you want that to be your beer? Why wouldn't you want to make a very similar beer? Not exactly that, but in the same genre. Well attenuated, nice and clear, good hop balance, good carbonation. Your beer, which is also that same, it's a IPA, I say. It's cloudy, it's flat. I mean, you're not moving in that direction. I mean, that kind of thing.
But you're right, that's a great common ground. Yeah. And some brewmasters, particularly ones like this, it sounds like, their palates are not that great. However, they might know a great IPA when they taste one.
Exactly.
The problem is they're tasting so much of their own IPA that they've convinced themselves that they're tasting. So they might be fascinated to find out, wait a minute, you mean this isn't like Blind Pig? Because that's how I designed it. And then it gives you this starting point where you say, well, I can see where you were going. But let me tell you what's missing. It doesn't have the dryness. It doesn't have the... and you could go from there.
Let me tell you how to get there.
So it's either way, I don't envy you in your position.
No,
I have pissed off some brewers by being a little too honest. I tend to go in. I don't have a very good ability to keep my mouth shut, is that we should say. I told Matt Brynelson the other day, it was his show that Firestone and Trumer had sponsored for me to do during SF Beer Week. And I sat on that show with him like a dickhead and told him that I wasn't happy with his Union Jack recently.
Changes, yeah.
Because, for one, Matt's my friend, and two, I have a difficulty keeping my mouth shut.
Right.
Even though this is their show, and we're in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
Luckily, Matt has a fantastic personality and sense of humor, and used the opportunity to make fun of me.
Right.
But we did get to talk about his beer, and I actually found out that his own staff is perceiving some of the things that I'm perceiving in Union Jack, but it's not for the reasons that I thought it was. In other words, if you listen, you can go back, and it's in the session podcast link, and it's on the homepage under the session. You can go back and listen to the discussion. I was talking about sweetness, like a residual sweetness that I felt Union Jack has now that it didn't have in the beginning. And he said that it's actually drier than it's ever been, numbers-wise, but that his own staff out of the bottles are also picking up a perceived sweetness that they think is coming from the hops. And so they're working on it and trying to... Anyhow, the point is...
The whole thing.
No matter what, you might say the wrong thing or piss somebody off.
Yeah, it's
but
hard.
Find common ground.
It's hard to approach someone with negative feedback.
Right.
It's hard. But maybe even offer to be his assistant. Hey, can I come in and brew with you? Yeah. And then you slowly kind of go, maybe you should really turn that boil up a little bit, because I kind of, not to be a dick, but I kind of get some DMS in your Pilsner. So
here, let me do that for you.
Let me just turn that up a little bit. Maybe he doesn't know. If it's this lady's husband, maybe he's not even a commercial brewer. Maybe he's a home brewer who has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, if he doesn't have any idea, he's not going to be able to help him much, because it's a lot about evaluating the beer.
I think you can feel him out, have a conversation with him, and feel him out.
Yeah, that's what I meant by you definitely have to be able to read people.
Yeah,
a little
not
bit.
all at one time. You could have just feel it out a little bit, then go a little bit further the next time you see the guy.
Is Push on one, Beef?
Hey.
Yeah, there he is. Hey, Push, what's happening, buddy?
Push calling in for?
He's got something to contribute.
Oh.
It's a good discussion. I haven't heard everything while I was on hold, so maybe you guys covered this already, but I wanted to just throw in there that don't assume that the brewer doesn't want your feedback and doesn't want to hear it. There's a good chance that he knows there's a huge issue and a problem, but he just doesn't have the community around him to figure it out. So he may really, really welcome your feedback, or there may be other factors involved that your feedback would be exactly what he wants to hear.
Excellent point, Push.
Yep. Yeah. We have my personal cell phone number on the Heretic website in case people spot bad kegs out in the wild. And just this week, I got a call from somebody saying they had a brand new account and they had a glass of our beer and it didn't taste right. And so we were able to follow up with the distributor, find out it was an old keg. They pulled it immediately, and the next morning they replaced it. But the person thought that, I don't want to bother them, or they don't really want to know, or whatever. We would never have gotten that kind of feedback.
Right.
So don't assume that your input is not welcome.
Excellent point, Push.
Right.
Thanks, brother.
All right, guys.
All right, brother. Later.
Have a good show.
All right, I got to get through this feedback quick because we've got to get to our guest, too. Kyle writes in, I just wanted to write in and say how much I appreciated your PSA on last week's show regarding drunk driving. I also work in the alcohol industry, and it blows my mind how often I see my coworkers and others in the industry driving around way too drunk, making all of the excuses you listed on the show. Keep up the good work from Kyle. Well, thank you, Kyle. And, I won't do the PSA again, per se, but I'll just remind everybody that you're probably over the limit if you've been out drinking and having a couple beers. You might feel fine. You'll make up all the excuses. Buy yourself one of those little breathalyzers, blow into it before you get in the car, and just be safe, man. Your life could be over if you do that. So I just hate to see it. All right, Tim writes in, don't let Andy Wood call in anymore. He makes me want to stab my eardrums out with a rusty screwdriver.
He must be allergic to comedy, this guy.
How could you not? I've never met anybody who doesn't like Andy Wood.
Right.
I mean, I think he's impossible to dislike. That being said, he does call in a lot. And maybe they're just tired of that.
A little too much, a little too long in the tooth.
I think he's great.
He's awesome.
All right, Village Brew writes in, just wanted to say thanks for the sweet prize pack from the Twitter game.
That's right. I finally sent him out.
They said it was well worth the wait, JP. You
Good.
sent me way more than I was expecting. Easy, JP.
Wow, shit.
I'll be sure to wear the swag everywhere I go, and we'll keep spreading the BN disease from Village Brew. This one's long.
Yeah, there's like two more that are kind of...
I don't really have time. If you remind me, I'll come back to him at the end of the show. because I'm running late. I was babbling on, and we got to take a break so we can get to our guest today. So
right. Maybe your producer will remind you.
We'll do it at the end of the program. All right, let's take a quick break. Flying Dog when we come back, and later on in the show, we're doing advanced extract techniques with Doc, Moscow, and Phil. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
Listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Hi, I'm Jamel Zanishev, and in addition to my work on the Brewing Network, I write the Style Profile column in every issue of Brew Your Own magazine.
Hi, I'm Sean Paxton, and when I'm not prepping for the Home Brewed Chef on the Brewing Network, you can find me writing articles on how to cook with your home brew for Brew Your Own magazine.
Greetings, cretins. This is John Palmer, and when I'm not writing for Brew Your Own, I'm reading it.
John Palmer, Sean Paxton, Jamil Zanishev. If you love listening to them on the Brewing Network, you'll love reading their articles, tips, and recipes in the pages of Brew Your Own magazine. Join Jamil, John, and Sean 8 times a year in Brew Your Own. And when you subscribe to BYO on the Brewing Network website, half of your subscription price goes right back to the BN to support great beer and food programming. So sign up for Brew Your Own magazine through the BN website today so you can listen and read your way to better homebrew.
Nico, listen, our lawyers said that we had to do this for 1 hour, and after this, we don't have to talk to each other for 3 more months to the next meeting.
Kids. Come on, let's get out of here.
I'm supposed to have more lines. I'm the professional. Hey, it's Sully.
And I'm Nico.
And we opened the 21st Amendment 9 years ago at 563 2nd Street in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park, to make great beer and have a great time doing it.
That's right, because to us, the 21st Amendment is more than just the right to make beer. It's the right to experiment, to be innovative, and just do things differently. And so now, we're putting our craft beer in cans.
That's right, cans. You can find our world-famous Hell or High Watermelon Wheat Beer and Brew Free or Die IPA throughout California and Alaska.
And now it's also available on draft at select accounts in the Bay Area.
So next time you're at your local neighborhood pub or good beer store, be sure to ask for 21st Amendment in cans.
Because everyone likes it in the can.
Tasty crack cans.
Tasty crack can.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients, and the best customer service in the business. Cut hours off your brewing sessions by using one of their 11 varieties of famous Williams malt extract. Their new Snap-Lock stainless steel cam-lock fittings will make connecting your pump or heat exchanger quick and easy. Or check out their exclusive paintball tank-based draft beer equipment. They even have their own line of precision hydrometers. Go to williamsbrewing.com to browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy. The Williams way.
This is www.thebrewingnetwork.com.
Sit down next to it, grab yourself a paper towel, and watch those yeast have sex.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. session. Brewing up our next batch of radio gold. Right now.
All right, welcome back to the program, and thanks for sticking with us. We got Matt Brophy on the line. He's from Flying Dog Brewery out of Maryland now. Matt, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
There he is. Hey, Matt, thanks for being on the show, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Great. I've been drinking your beer for years, man. I saw you the first time I went out to the JBF about, 5 or 6 years ago now, and that was the first time I had it. And it's good stuff. I'm glad to see you've grown so much over the years.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we're having fun doing it too.
You know, one of my first questions, I got to say, is about your location, because you've kind of had a unique migration that I haven't seen happen too often. I know you guys started in Colorado, and in a smaller space. Where was the very first Flying Dog?
Well, the first incarnation of the brewery was a brew pub up in Aspen called Flying Dog. The brew pub lasted for a few years, and in 1994, we started a production facility down in Denver. The brew pub closed. We produced beer in the Denver brewery up until about 2000, when we actually moved a couple blocks away and continued producing beer in another facility that was actually something they called the Mile High Brewery, set up by Timberline Ales way back when. And they came down and set up a 50-barrel brewery and brew pub and the whole deal, and they went out of business. And the equipment sat in the building for a few years, and when we were growing out of our, what we call the Broadway Brewery location, it was kind of a no-brainer just to move just a couple blocks away to the bigger facility.
Okay.
And as we moved on, when we got to about 2005, we for some time have been distributed kind of far and wide, and even back in 2005 or so, we were selling a good deal of beer in the East, and we wanted to explore what kind of opportunities you would have to produce beer in the East, and we came upon the Frederick Brewing Company. And it's a great facility, and we actually made them an offer and purchased the facility in 2006. So we produced beer for 2 years simultaneously out of both facilities.
Okay.
That was one of my role, was kind of traveling between the two and making sure the beer was consistent, which was a bit of a challenge, but my job got a lot easier. In January of 2008, when we shut down the Denver brewery and then kind of moved everything to Maryland, and we've been producing 100% of our beer in Maryland since then.
So the move east was not necessarily a matter of growth as much as it was that you really wanted to just move east?
Well, it came down to what our distribution looked like at the time.
Okay.
And, in retrospect, it was a pretty good move. So we'd like to give ourselves a little more credit to have the foresight to see kind of how markets develop. And at that time, this was certainly an emerging market for some time. But, I think right now in Colorado there's 138 breweries and counting. I'm not sure what the actual number is. But, when we came to Maryland, we were just everybody just embraced us, Maryland and people in Northern Virginia and D.C., and we really just suddenly kind of just felt at home, and we've just been able to build on that for the past several years.
Very nice. So how big was the brew house in Denver, the latest incarnation?
We had a 50-barrel system, but we were really capable of producing about 40,000 barrels out of that facility. So there were other things too. Both those Denver breweries, neither, of course, was built to be a brewery. It was something else before, and that has certain challenges. So we didn't really have, our warehouse, for example, you couldn't really double stack pallets. Just some space limitations. When the trucks would come to pick up at our Blake Street location, they would actually have to drive down Blake Street the wrong way just to back into our dock. So there are some challenges associated with having a facility that was kind of an afterthought to put a brewery in. But that's what we really like about this Frederick location, is that this was well planned to be a brewery from the very beginning. And this brewery, the Frederick Brewery, also has a 50-barrel system, but it's a 50-barrel JV system, and it's got 2 kettles. So it actually, with our fermentation space and the fact that we can cast out 50 barrels about every 3.5 hours, we've got a capacity of about 100,000 packaged wort barrels a year.
Wow. And do you expect to reach that capacity this year?
Whether or not it happens this year, at the rate we're going, it'll happen in the next 24 months.
Wow.
We produced about 70,000 packaged wort barrels last year. We just added 4 new 200-barrel JV fermenters to take our total fermentation capacity to just over 6,400 barrels.
Okay. That's amazing. That's a lot of beer you guys are doing. Well done.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk a little. Let's go back even further, if I can, because I think that the birth of Flying Dog is pretty interesting. Your founders, George Stranahan and Richard McIntyre, after climbing K2, which nobody in this room could ever do, I just want to point out, we would all die instantly.
Me too, yeah.
After climbing it, on their way back down, they had these ideas for a brew pub, and they actually came up with the name after climbing K2 in kind of a weird circumstance. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, sure. Well, they're oxygen deprived and exhausted, and they're at the George Flashman Hotel in Rawalpindi, Pakistan, and kind of sitting there and having a beer. And they look up at George looks up at the wall and sees a painting of a flying dog. It was a Pakistani's interpretation of British bird dog. And he kind of thought to himself that if this artist thinks that dogs can fly, that really means that anything's possible. And when he returned to Colorado, he renamed his ranch to the Flying Dog Ranch, and then of course the Flying Dog Brewery sometime later. So that's kind of how all that began.
Nice. Okay. And that was strictly from oxygen deprivation. George wasn't into psychedelics at the time.
Well, there was some things going on that trip that
right.
yeah. a pretty wild bunch.
That's
no
awesome.
doubt about it.
Very cool. So the idea of Flying Dog is born, and then they open up the first brew pub, as you mentioned, in Aspen. Now, of course, this story that I'm sure you've had to explain just a ton, but it's fascinating nonetheless. It's part of the history of this brewery. Is that that George used to live next to Hunter S. Thompson? Is that right?
Yeah, Hunter came in the 70s to Aspen looking. Once he got there, he wanted to settle in, and George has a nice ranch, and he had a small cabin, owl farm, and a cabin, and Hunter kind of took up kind of shacked up there for some time.
Okay, and that's how you guys ended up hooked up with Stedman, who to this day his art is on the bottles.
Oprah's husband?
Yes, Oprah's husband, Stedman. He's
That's
a great
weird.
artist.
I figured it was someone else entirely, but
right.
Stedman's awesome.
Ralph Stedman, the other Stedman.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually, if you flash back pretty far, 1970, and Hunter was doing an article on the Kentucky Derby for a magazine called Scanlon's, which only lasted a year or so. But they wanted to pair him up with an artist that could really capture his gonzo style of journalism, and they got in touch with Ralph Stedman. So those guys first met at the Kentucky Derby in 1970, and they really hit it off. And Hunter's article came out. It was titled "The Kentucky Derby is Decadent and Depraved." So it was kind of the beginning of a beautiful relationship. Those guys spent a lot of time together after that. Hunter obviously working on his art, which is writing, and Ralph was there through a lot of that to help him with with all the graphic design. And then when you get into the 80s, you see these guys. When the brew pub was the concept was coming together, George had kind of asked Hunter to ask Ralph if he would possibly do the label for us. And Hunter said, "Oh shit, man, you're crazy. He's never going to do that." Lo and behold, about 6 months later, the proofs for our Doggy Style and our Road Dog label showed up on George's doorstep. And yeah, the rest has been history, and we're still working with Ralph to this day. We've had several new labels done in the last few months alone.
To me, it's such an awesome combination. We talk about, and so do brewers, we talk about beer as a mixture of art and science anyway.
Yeah.
And this is really kind of the epitome of that, when each of your bottles, and I've always thought this, they're like a work of art. I mean, seeing Ralph's stuff on there is so cool. You don't see that many labels like that. There's marketing and there's cool logos. and then there's fucking art on a bottle,
Right,
which is what you guys have.
Which is great marketing in and of itself.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's great. It's not a I don't know if you're so calculated with how the label looks. It's like, oh, that's a great picture. That's our label.
Yeah.
Instead of, well, maybe this, if we shift it around, the eye can catch this, and then it'll be drawn down to our logo.
That's a
and this
good
whole
question.
nonsense.
Did you ever tell Ralph, it's not quite right, buddy. We need you to do it again?
No. That conversation usually doesn't happen. But it's interesting. We've been having that conversation internally too for the better part of a year. And we recently did a label redesign where we really focused in on the art. We brought the classic artwork back. We changed the finish of the label to more of a matte style, and really just kind of getting rid of some of the busyness that we felt was in the labels and really getting the art on there. And your listeners can check it out at flyingdogbrewery.com. I think they're all up there now, so you can kind of see what that looks like.
All right, beautiful. And now, with the original one, which I guess is Road Dog Porter, which we're drinking right now, there's another good story, and we definitely, we're going to talk all about the beer with you, too, if you don't mind, of course.
Yeah.
But, this label has an interesting story that I think a lot of breweries still struggle with. I know we've covered news stories with censorship in labels and the TTB declining labels. But Road Dog Porter was originally penned by Ralph Steadman to say, good beer, no shit. And at one point, you guys were told you couldn't use this label.
That's right. Yeah, back in the Colorado days, we were told we couldn't use the label, and the ACLU actually approached us about the issue. And so after we kind of got the cease and desist on that, we changed it to good beer, no censorship. And then the ACLU got behind us, and we were able to get that turned over.
Now, what was the complaint was that you're not allowed to use obscenities in a beer label?
Yeah, I believe so at that time, and I think you guys are well aware of the Michigan case that we're involved with regarding Raging Bitch.
Yes. Yeah. Now, what was the ACLU's standpoint? Did they say, well, listen, it's art, it's not a marketing thing, it was actually done by an artist? How were they able to get behind it?
Yeah, I think that is the case, and there's actually a BBC documentary that was made when Ralph was actually doing the artwork, and you can see him putting down the good beer, no shit. Absolutely, it's a work of art, and it's also freedom of speech, and that's something that we feel pretty strongly about.
And in some ways, you've now created a precedent, not only for your own Raging Bitch, but for other breweries to be able to say, well, look, there's been a case decided on this already. So why are you picking on this new beer? Is that you finding that's helping you?
Yeah, I think that helps us. I think that the way the system works, where you have a federal approval process, and then each state has its own approval processes. So it's almost like you're dealing with if you have 50 states, 50 different countries, and it can be quite a challenge. And we had two states. I think New Hampshire had some type of objection as well with Raging Bitch, but of course Michigan, you have this Michigan Liquor Control Board or whatever with 5 people as part of this, and they decide that it's a danger to public health. I think something like that. When you read the documents, it's ludicrous.
That's amazing.
Well, it seems like a problem that would solve itself, right? Like, I mean, if you put something on the label that really offended people, as no shit obviously doesn't, they wouldn't buy your product. Yeah. Right? Doesn't the problem solve itself?
Let the market decide. But where do you draw the line? I mean, you can have Bitch Creek wine. You can have Arrogant Bastard. There's other names out there that one could argue are inflammatory. But I think if you guys have seen the Raging Bitch label on the art that Ralph put together for that, I think that's probably where their objection was coming from. But again, it's art.
Right. It is, and you're right about where do you draw the line, because it's ridiculous, especially. God, we're all children now. We're all children now who need a mommy. Don't put Raging Bitch out in front of us.
We need some old white guy to tell us what we like and what we don't like. That's really what it is.
They're thought police. They're thought police. They're out there trying to help us in their mind. Help us know what to think and what to see and protect us from ourselves. But it's ridiculous.
My first beer I put out is going to be called "You're a Pussy." And then underneath that, it'll be called "You're a Pussy, Yes, you. And it's going to be to the TTB. It's
really
when they decline it. I'm going to say, I made that beer for you. How could you decline it?
See, mine is going to be eat shit and fill my holes.
Right.
It's just for a golfing range.
And if they allow this to happen, JP, we're going to have Flying Dog to thank for paving the way for us.
I'm sure they're going to really want to be real close to us after that. A giant press release about how Flying Dog and Ballsack Brewing Company have teamed up to fight the oppression. They're going to be like, yeah, that's a different Flying Dog.
Right. We have Raging Bitch here, too, actually, in front of me, which is another...
She's screening our calls right now.
This label is awesome. I mean, that dog on there is the coolest thing I've ever seen. That is so cool.
Off the hook.
Do you guys have, original prints of this stuff kind of hanging around the brewery, larger original prints?
We do. We have we've got some originals, we've got some reproductions, and we have our whole tasting room is filled with this art, and and that's a big part of what we do. We actually right now, if you walk into the tasting room, we have some art because we have every couple of months we'll do a silent auction where we have artists come in and kind of get their works up on the wall. Everybody has some beers, and we highlight local artists, which we feel is important.
That's pretty sweet. If the brewery's ever struggling financially, you guys can just eBay those prints.
Right.
That's right. Yep.
I'm sure Ralph wouldn't mind. He's
too high to care.
He's there to support. Yeah.
Hey, Matt, we're just finishing off tasting your porter here, the Road Dog. Oh, it's really good. It has a good malt backbone. How would you describe your yeast? Would it be more English than like a neutral American yeast?
In this case, it is a neutral American yeast.
It is.
This has been a beer of some debate internally in the brewery. We love Road Dog, and Road Dog, of course, is one of the original members of the family. But we last November we actually brewed a beer. Of course, in Maryland, the Chesapeake Bay is a pretty big deal for us, and there's an organization called the Oyster Recovery Partnership that helps put oysters back into the bay, which is a pretty amazing process that I got to check out firsthand. So we wanted to do an oyster stout. So we did an oyster stout last November. And of course, it's Pearl Necklace Oyster Stout. So that label could be interesting too. But we internally we were really excited about that beer, and we're thinking of bringing that on full time in 2012, and keeping Road Dog, and potentially maybe moving Road Dog to kind of a once a year release, and maybe doing some special things around that. But we all love Road Dog. I think my question when I drink that beer. I kind of wonder, it seems it's a little in the middle. Is it, kind of going roasty, or is it kind of going chocolatey? And I think everything balances out very nicely. But I don't know. I think there's room in our lineup for maybe another, in this case, a stout.
Yeah, something with more of a chocolate backbone, yeah.
What were you thinking, Tasty, that it kind of has some of the fruity esters of an English?
It's got a big malt left over, but it doesn't get sweet. It's just a maltiness, not a sweetness.
It's more the malt, I think, than the fruitiness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on, Doc. Sorry.
You got to turn your mic on.
No, he turned me down.
There you are.
I get a mineraliness, like kind of like a bass, kind of. So that's where I kind of get the Englishness. It's kind of a little bit sharp, but a very nice mineral kind of character to it. And I think that's where it kind of pulls you into that English kind of character.
Okay.
It's really good. It'd be great with food.
Oh, yeah.
How about the hops in this beer, Matt?
Really, we're just we do a pretty standard bittering with Pearl, and we finish a little Cascade. So nothing too intense as you guys are getting as you taste the beer. A little Whirlpool edition. But nothing that's really a significant part of the beer's profile.
Okay, it is a good malt. I think this would be a nice example of a beer if you're trying to teach somebody about a malty characteristic that has some sweetness to it, and as Tasty said, not in a leftover sugar kind of way, but in a malt profile way. This would be a good example of a beer like that.
It has a nice little toasty note too.
Yeah,
that I think goes real well with that malt backbone. It's just a really enjoyable beer,
and a pretty awesome head retention. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it sticks around quite a bit.
It's got a lot of body.
Do you have any tricks for us homebrewers, Matt, of an ingredient in the malt that might help with our head retention?
Get her drunk.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you guys, this is a pretty straightforward grist bill. We obviously have our 2-row malt, but we've got black malt, chocolate malt, and some Crystal 120. So we're not really doing anything too tricky there. I mean, my advice on head retention for the most part is good technique and process. Throughout the entire process, I think is pretty important.
Okay.
I'm one of those believers in we're unnecessary foam creation in the process hurts your head retention at the end of the day. So that's just kind of a rule of thumb we like to work from.
Oh, that's interesting. So what would that mean for me? You mean like too vigorous of a boil or something? What do you mean by the unnecessary foam?
I wouldn't be too concerned about the boil, but I think areas of hot side aeration. I think particularly with finished beer. So careful handling of bright beer, where you're not, you get your carbonation right the first time. You're not playing around with that too much, because you get kind of that when that you get that foam. If you get that foam to develop when you're carbonating, that's going to settle back down in the beer, and after that or after a couple rounds of that, you're going to lose your head retention.
I see what you mean. That's an excellent.
So the essence you're saying is don't overcarbonate your beer, because you bounce that out.
Yeah,
you are using some.
There's
of the head
once,
retention.
and you're
taking some of the head retention out of the beer.
Well, that's a good point, especially because I'm so goddamn impatient that I'm doing the shake and force carb on all my kegs. But the sort of give it a few days to just pressure carbonate without
that on
me
the low end,
creating all that foam might help with head retention. Oh, that's a good tip.
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Now I notice here too that you guys are going to get into canning here pretty quick.
Yes, we are. We're expecting. We're about 2 weeks away from getting the canner online, and we expect to have Monday, April 2nd. We expect to have the first cans coming off the line. So yeah, we're very excited about that.
So why the move? Is it a freshness thing for you guys or a coolness thing?
It's well, I mean, I wouldn't really totally categorize it as either. I mean, I think there's a kind of a good market for cans, I'd say. I mean, I think that we see it in the brewery where, if you're doing something outdoors or, somewhere where bottles might be prohibited, it kind of sucks not to be able to have your own beer there. So it's not a giant move for us. The way we're set up and with the canning unit we've got, in our current configuration, which is going to be the same for at least the next couple of years, we won't be able to produce more than about 10% of our total annual production in the can. So it's not something we're trying to build, to any great extreme, but something that we wanted internally in the brewery and something that we think that our local market would really appreciate.
Okay. I have to say that I think the can is an awesome platform for Ralph's art because
no kidding.
You can get more.
The whole can.
Right.
I think it's going to look badass.
Oh, it is. We've got two beers coming out. One is our Snake Dog, which is going to be the second, but the art on that looks amazing. I mean, it's just, it is incredible. We're so pleased with it. We're doing the Ball has something called the Iris technology, which is basically where you get the art to the quality of a high definition photograph or however you describe that, but they're basically able to paint that onto the can. So the traditional technology, you get to pick, whatever the 4 or 5 colors and everything is a blend of those. And this is some advanced technology that we're pretty excited about.
Beautiful.
That's pretty cool. Wow. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I have a beer out of a can, I never want to pour it into a glass. Because I'm so fascinated by drinking craft beer out of a can still, I drink it out of the can.
Right. You'll get over that.
Even Newcastle. I'll drink Newcastle in the can,
sure.
but not Guinness.
That's the only one you want.
I like the
Cascade.
Sure. He's not enamored by that.
Are you? Are they 12-ounce cans? Or are you doing bombers at all?
Tall boys.
Yeah, we're gonna do 12. We're gonna do 12-ounce cans, and the first beer we're gonna do is actually a new beer for us. It's called Underdog Atlantic Lager. So this is something that's to some degree I'd say a hybrid of styles, where you kind of take elements of just kind of like a pilsner, like a German pilsner for example, but we're using Golding's hops. So it is a true lager. It's fermented at lager temperatures, but we've got kind of the English hop presence to it, and we've got over 1 pound per barrel of Golding's in there, and it's only about 4.7% alcohol. But we're thinking, we're all hop heads in the brewery, but we want something that's it's kind of quaffable to some degree for the hot, sticky Maryland summers. So we think this is going to be the perfect beer for us.
Sounds like a good beer.
Yeah.
I'll try that. Are you going to send it out California way?
California not anytime soon, guys. Sorry.
Not yet.
I'll send you guys something. I'll send you a little care package.
There you go.
Yeah, that sounds like a good recipe. I like the change. I'm a big Pilsner fan, but I like the switch to some English hops.
Maybe pack some of that Stedman art in there for us.
Right.
Yeah, an original print or two. Nice.
Just maybe just two. It's fine.
But California is a big market for you guys, isn't it? You guys?
Yeah, California. Yeah, we do pretty well in California. It's a market that has treated us very well. We've got a lot of Raging Bitch fans. We recently sent a lot of our Woody Creek White, which are our white beer, our summer seasonal. And yeah, we deal with Wine Warehouse as our wholesaler. They do a great job for us.
Okay. Oh, I have a question coming through from the chat that I had the same question. I just didn't know how to ask it, Matt. But now that I've been backed up by one of our listeners, I'm just going to ask it.
Are you a good kisser?
Are you straight?
Well, the question, I think it's a clear question that Matt's probably had before. And it's not that anybody is encouraging Ralph Steadman to leave the planet, but when Ralph Steadman leaves the planet, you have so much of your marketing, your image wrapped up in his artwork. Do you guys have a exit strategy, for lack of a better term?
No, I mean, that's a great question. And right now, we don't have anything that's too terribly organized. But I think that what you could expect from us is to, really harness the power of other artists and possibly some local artists, and maybe kind of rotate things out and give other people opportunity to share our art, which is the craft of brewing, with their art, and maybe come up with some partnerships. But yeah, it's something that we haven't quite figured out yet, to be completely honest with you.
This is what I would do. I would just shrink everything. I would only put the artwork on maybe 4 original lineups. Mm-hmm. And then everything else can be, done with local artists or whatever.
With new.
Yeah, after that oh shit moment.
After that oh shit. Well, there'll be a lot of sadness, I'm sure. I have to say, Matt, that's exactly the answer I was hoping you'd say. I'm sure, clearly his art gets to live on in the labels that he has done and the beers that you guys have already out there.
Yeah.
But I think that he would want you, and it's part of your philosophy already, to bring in new artists, and new art is a fantastic solution. And I was hoping that was the answer you were going to give.
Yeah, just so you know, Matt, I'm not a local, but I do dabble in artwork.
Moscow's already applying for the job. Right.
You want to move to Maryland?
If I have to.
Yeah.
For my art.
All right, Matt, I got to take a quick break so we can take care of a couple of sponsors. I do have more questions from the listeners in front of us, and then we're going to taste Raging Bitch and ask you about that beer, too. So can you hang out for a few minutes?
Yeah, absolutely, guys.
All right, cool. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back with Matt Brophy. He's the brewmaster and COO of Flying Dog Brewery. If you've got questions, join Beav in the chat room by hitting the chat button or call 888-401-BEER. We'll be right back. Hang in there.
Listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Hey brewers, it's planting season. Have you ever dreamt of walking through your own hop garden? Well, look no further than Woodburn, Oregon, and the Crosby Family Hop Farm. Blake Crosby and his family have been passionately growing hops for 5 generations. And right now, they're taking orders for 2012 rhizomes for all retail and wholesale customers. The Crosbys know how to grow hops and are here to help you establish your family's very own successful hop garden. In fact, when you plant a hop rhizome from the Crosbys, you're using the same plant your your favorite professional brewer bought his hops from. Friendly professional service, fast shipment, and quality hops at competitive prices. The Crosby family brings all of this to you. Call 503-982-5166 or visit bcrosbyhops.com and let Blake Crosby and the Crosby Hop Farm help make your hop garden a reality. bcrosbyhops.com. Hops from the Crosby family farm to yours.
And now, Northern Brewer presents What If Homebrewers Ruled the World?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll follow me, I will lead you into the gallery area. Now, the first piece up for sale today is a Jamil Zainasheff original, a bottle of 1997 vintage Evil Twin.
I say.
A bidding for this one-of-a-kind piece will start at £7,000. And if you'll continue to follow me, ladies and gentlemen, I can show you a rather abstract piece from Bay Area brewer Justin Crossley. It's a German Doppelbock entitled Justin's Giant Bock. The brewer's notes here indicate that this beer had excellent mouthfeel.
That's just a crazy dream, or is it? With Northern Brewer, a thirsty nation can craft its own ale and lager for the greater good of mankind. Northern Brewer, the home of $7.99 Brew Saver shipping, superior customer service, and the finest selection of home brewing goods for the future.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping?
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
The Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. Oh, the distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
What's funny is brewers will say, yeah, I don't brew to style. I'm brewing my own beer. And it's like a German Pilsner, but it's black. Yeah, it's a sports beer. You know?
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
Radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
tuned into this session.
Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
Yeah, welcome back to the session. Thanks for sticking with us. We're talking to Matt Brophy. He's the brewmaster at Flying Dog Brewery in Frederick, Maryland now. And a lot of capacity to grow out there, so it's a good thing. Matt, we just opened up we opened up the Raging Bitch now.
Nice. I think it's pronounced Froderick, isn't it?
Friedrich.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it, Matt?
Frederick.
Fucking JP. It was some JP joke that nobody got.
Young Einstein.
I see.
Or not Young Einstein. Young Frankenstein, sorry. Young Einstein was better.
Right. Before we do talk about the Raging Bitch, speaking of names, I did have a couple questions come through from the chat room. People wanted to know if you guys had any trouble with Doggy Style Pale. Did anybody give you any shit for that?
No, I mean, it kind of goes in line with Heat Wheat and a couple others. I don't know. I mean, for some people like to call Doggy Style classic pale ale if they are, the prudes that are they're a little too embarrassed to say Doggy Style. They call it classic pale ale, but,
Right.
What are you going to do?
It amazes me that there are people like this on the planet.
Especially because everything can be, like, I gave her some of my classic pale ale, if you know what I'm saying. Like, anything can have that innuendo.
But they're clear innuendos, but they're funny and clever, and who gives a shit? It's really,
Well, obviously, you took some time to get the name within the genre of the dog thing, right?
Sure.
And beer's all about style.
Right.
And it's not like it's just Oh, yeah. Oh, you can't have that.
I think the people who would really be offended probably don't know what doggy style is.
And those are people who don't drink beer anyway.
And there's people that have never done doggy style who it is. That's dirty. What are you guys talking about?
It's not like it's a missionary milk stout. All right.
Yeah. Should do lipstick red ale. A little red tip.
Little red rocket.
You can tell I've owned a lot. I've owned a lot of dogs.
You've seen a lot of dog boners.
I've seen a lot of dog boners.
they do have red rocket. They didn't like ban that.
That's true. That's true. And then there's a question about the outcome of Flying Dog versus the state of Michigan. That's the Raging Bitch one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the case. With the label issue, we've actually gotten to the point where Michigan will allow the beer, so shipments have resumed. We're not letting the case go just yet, as much as they would like us to, as we feel that this is truly a freedom of speech issue, and we continue to fight it. We're gonna see what the outcome is. I don't think it's likely, but it's possible if you go to the Supreme Court. But this is a serious issue. We can't have thought police out there telling us, what we can buy, what we can look at. The analogy with the children was good earlier. I mean, we're not kids. We can buy what we want and like what we want.
Right.
It's not like you have Santa on there and it says "Raging Bitch" too, and so you got that whole that child thing.
It's not an Easter bunny.
Yeah,
and even if it was, what's your little tiny kid doing in the beer aisle?
Right. Well,
if we could be marketing to the kids, well, the Raging Bitch is offensive to children. They shouldn't be in the beer aisle.
Right. Right.
It's freedom of speech.
I'm sure. But now the interesting part about this battle, and you've now had a couple of them, Matt, is you guys must have a portion of your budget that you now have to set aside for legal battles, since you choose to not let these things go.
No, actually, it's pro bono.
You have to say pro bono
we
stuff.
have people. We have people who look for cases like this and who are happy to fight for them and fight for our freedom. So luckily, that's not affecting our budget.
That's great, because it's hard enough to run a brewery. I know a lot of craft breweries don't have advertising budgets, never mind a fight the good fight budget. So that's nice to hear you got the pro bono work being done.
Yeah, we're very fortunate.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about Raging Bitch here, and I want to start with this, Matt, because I'm going to just be honest with you. I find the Belgian-style IPA to be a sort of a confusing style to me. And, hops and that Belgian estery yeast is a difficult thing to put together. So I'm curious, the premise for the beer, why you guys decided to go for it, and what your take is on the blend of the West Coast, or I should say the American hop flavor, but with the Belgian yeast style.
No, that's a great question. This beer we started in development in 2009. It was we have a group in the brewery called the Remarkable Beer Team, which consists of me, our head brewer, our packaging manager, our QA manager, and our cellar filtration expert. And we get together and brainstorm and try to think of what it is that we'd like to bring to the Flying Dog lineup. And back in 2009, in that conversation, you kind of start off and you talk about what kind of beers you like. We're all fans of Belgian beers. We're all fans of IPAs, and we decided to start doing some experimentation and see what we could come up with. And the roots kind of started with playing with our Snake Dog wort, which of course is American style IPA, and we were fermenting it with our white beer yeast. And then we kind of threw in the Amarillo as a dry hop, and we were really pleased with the results. And and I agree too. I think that is the true challenge of getting a good Belgian IPA, because I've tasted a good deal that. I agree that the hops, the hops and the yeast character don't quite get along. So they're contrasting and they're pushing against each other. But we feel we found a really complementary balance between the two. So you have, of course, the big fruit from the hops, and you've got that phenolic types of aromas that hit in there too, and those play off each other, I think, very nicely. This is interesting. We did this in one of our propagation vessels, actually, as an experiment, and we took some kegs down to the Brickskeller in D.C. It's, of course, well-known beer bar, and we were doing a presentation or something down there, and we had people, I have people coming up to me and saying, "This beer is amazing. I can't believe you guys have to make this all the time." And of course, pretty much at every event you do, somebody comes up to you and says, "Oh, I love your beers." Nobody's going to tell you that they don't, or whatever the case is. But you could really tell the difference. You could really see that these people were like just so passionate about us, coming out with this beer full time.
Yeah.
And of course, we loved it internally, so we went with it.
Okay. I do agree with you that this one does, the two complement each other rather than clash. You certainly have to like that Belgian style, but it's funny that you mentioned Amarillo as a hop, because my first experience with a Belgian IPA that put me off on them was the Le Chouffe beer that they did years ago. It was one of the first, I think, ever done, and they used a large amount of Amarillo, and I just didn't like it at all. And it wasn't a fruit flavor of the hops that complemented some of the sweeter flavors of a Belgian yeast. They really clashed. There was a lot of bitterness. Even the citrus, I found, clashed with the esters of the Belgian yeast. Now, in your beer here, I'm not getting big citrusy notes, and honestly, I'm not getting clash either. There's a bitterness there that you wouldn't normally find in a Belgian style, obviously this being an IPA, but they don't clash. I do think you guys did a pretty good job on the balance part.
Is that what we're drinking?
That's what I'm drinking.
The
The Raging Bitch.
If it looked by the color of your glass, it might. No, Moscow poured you something else.
No, we're already
I got the golden ale, and I was like, wait a minute.
JP's thinking I'm nuts.
This is not a Belgian nor an IPA.
Right.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the Belgo-American style, and a lot of us aren't.
Do we have any of that?
This is a good one. There's more.
Right there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
To me, the citrus and the phenols just don't mix that well. I'd like somebody to try the same concept, that is making a really hoppy IPA, but use more like noble hops, or even the Goldings, for instance, even English hops.
I see. Yeah. What other hops are in this beer?
We have some of the Columbus and the Amarillo, and we're bittering with Warrior.
Okay.
So, pretty straightforward, and we perceive it. Usually, we describe it a little more than citrus, but just like a tropical fruit. Kind of like mango, and and some other fruits in there that are a little maybe livelier and a little more complex than just kind of the straight citrus thing that you guys might be commenting on.
No, I think that's a good description that you guys are doing. I would agree with that. The other thing I think I would say, and it helps with the balance, is it's not incredibly estery on the yeast side. Almost, and I'd like to ask you about your fermentation process and temperature, because to me, if you really exploit the Belgian yeast to get more of that estery side, that's you get more clash. And it's kind of subdued, and I think that helps the balance. Is that intentional on your part, or maybe you can tell us about your fermentation process?
Yeah, and we don't look to the yeast so much for the esters, but for the phenols. And our fermentation temp 70 degrees, but the variables that surround fermentation, I think, are the key to seeing a beer like this, because when you think about pitching rates and oxygen levels, and just kind of how quickly the fermentation takes off, and all of those variables are very important at the end of the day to control, to maintain consistency. Now, of course, as a craft brewer, we do see some slight variations, and usually those variations will play off of the phenol levels, and then with how it relates to the fruity aromas of the hops, and we kind of see some back and forth between those two. I mean, at a pretty, maybe for us a noticeable level. I don't know if the general public notices, but it's kind of interesting. So you kind of see this thing where sometimes there's a little more phenol to it, but then other times you're getting a little more fruit. And I think everybody has their preference, but it comes down to good process control, good brewing technique, paying attention to your pitching rates, your oxygen, everything that's associated.
I'm glad you said phenols too, because I'll tend to actually incorrectly describe esters and phenols in the same thing. So I'm glad you brought that up.
It's a special type of ester.
Yeah, and there is, it's more in the aftertaste for me, where I can start to pick up the phenols in this beer, but they are subdued. That's also kind of mellow. And you guys are a good balanced brewery. Same with the first beer we were talking about with the good malt profile in the porter. You guys are good at balance, which I know maybe that sounds obvious, but not a lot of breweries are really good at balance.
No. Well, let's talk about how you come up with this, especially with this Belgian IPA.
Yeah.
You guys don't brew a 15-gallon batch of this and say, let's see how it comes. And you have your crew of guys that you already mentioned that kind of decide on this. Do you have a pilot batch system that you just brew a little bit?
Yeah, this one you said was a pilot batch to begin with, right?
How big's your pilot batch?
Well, there's a couple ways we can do this. So we do have a one-barrel pilot system. In this case, we didn't actually pilot it. We have what's kind of nice is you kind of have you have a lot of good liquid, especially in the form of wort, coming through the system. So, if you want, you could choose, a high gravity wort of a known recipe, and then throw that in your kettle and boil it at any point during the brewing process all week. So there's a lot of different things we can do. In the case of Raging Bitch, we actually have 7-barrel yeast propagation fermenters. So we threw some of the wort into the fermenter, and we got 26 kegs off of it or something, whatever it was, and then we just kind of had them in the tasting room and took them. Beer wasn't registered at the time, so DC is kind of this no man's land. You can take beer down there and avoid TTP trouble, but just went out and kind of got the feedback. With some of our other beers, we did a small run of a local culinary collaboration last year where we wanted a smoke element. It's called Backyard Ale. We worked with Brian Voltaggio of Volt Restaurant here locally. But, we wanted just the right amount of smoke. And in that case, it took a few pilots to kind of nail it down, and we ended up going with a 7% smoke malt in the grist. That was right where it was. But if we were at 10%, it'd be too high. So, and I think you guys get this, because if it's something that you feel like you've had experience with before, and obviously for homebrewers you don't really do a pilot of a homebrew, but you have a certain degree of confidence. We have a single hop series where we use the same grist bill and we switch out the hops. Certainly no need to pilot any of those. I mean, it's all pretty much the same process. So we kind of look at each project and each creative concept a little differently.
Okay. I'm looking at your beer lineup right now, and kind of in this experimental vein. For the size of brewery that you now are, you guys brew a shitload of different beers.
Yeah, it's extensive.
I mean, most breweries your size are really narrowing it down, but you guys have a lot of different beers you're putting out.
Yeah, I think we've all seen this trend in the past couple of years where, variety is huge, and even your regular drinkers and the customers, particularly bars and everything, they always want something new. And there's plenty of other breweries out there coming up with new stuff. So we're trying to balance the level of complexity with our ability to give the attention to detail to every beer that comes through. I don't know if it's on the site or not, but we have a series called the Brewhouse Rarities, where it's basically a brewer series. We had a meeting last fall where we let anybody in the company kind of pitch whatever concept they wanted to do for a beer. That's cool. And they would kind of own that beer throughout the process. So this year we had about, after the meeting, we had about 16, 18 concepts, and we chose 12 to go with for this year. But it's a great way to share the creativity so that it's not just one person or a group of 4 or 5 people coming up with everything creativity, from the creative standpoint, but you kind of get everybody involved, and it puts a pep in everybody's step, and, everybody's very proud to be working, in the process of making all these beers. But yeah, it's I'll tell you what, it's keeping us very busy at the brewery.
Well, it's good for beer geeks like us, because you're right. The variety part is something that we're looking for. You guys are doing whiskey barrel aged beers now too, aren't you?
Yeah, and we have for some time. We had an arrangement with Stranahan's Colorado Whiskey when we were in Denver, because the distillery started in the brewery. We were making the wash for them back then, which is basically a beer that they would distill, a 10% beer, and they would distill it down, and barrel it and everything. And then we would take the barrels, and we've been doing what we affectionately around the brewery call bag, which is barrel aged Gonzo. So we take our Gonzo Imperial Porter, and throw it in whiskey barrels. Our relationship with Stranahan's is no more, but we've been using Heaven Hill barrels with actually really good success. In fact, we've got some in the system now that it's maturing a good deal faster than what we'd expected, so our next run's going to be moved up.
And how do you package those? Are those like large corked bottles or?
Yeah, we do three different packages for this. We'll do 6 kegs. We'll do some forced carbonated 12-ounce, and then we'll also do some bottle conditioned 750s. We've got kind of the manual 750 filler, 6 heads at a time, and it's not capable of packaging carbonated beer. So everything we do in 750s is bottle conditioned, 100%.
Okay. All right. That surprises me for some reason. I guess it doesn't hearing all the different beers that you do, but knowing that you have a pretty big production facility and you guys have been at this game for a while, I have a hard time picturing you guys filling 6-head 750s at a time in that brewery. It's pretty, I bet it looks kind of funny with an enormous brewery in the background, and over in the corner there's some dude just putting up 6 750s at a time.
No, it's we actually we package in the same room where our bottle filler is. So the bottle filler is soon going to also have the room at least is going to have a can filler right there, and then we've got our 750 filler. And we actually have we're doing an Abbey double called Disobedience, and we're going to do a decent run of 750s on that. And I think that's set for the 22nd, 23rd of this month, something like that. But we usually get 5 or 6 people in, and we crank it out. We'll do. We'll do about 15 barrels in a day. So yeah, it's intense.
Wow, that is. Man, I really just love the naming scheme too. Yeah. I'm a sucker for themed things like that. Like I love that Russian River has all the Shun series.
Yeah,
and I'm always waiting to hear what new clever name comes out for the next one. So I like that you're doing, the beer you just mentioned is Disobedience, and I also am such a dog nerd.
Well, yeah, you
all
are.
the Kardashian kids are named with a K.
Yeah, I also love the Kardashians, Doc.
Because they're all named with a K. It's a theme.
Yeah,
the Karkakikans. Yeah. I think it's how you pronounce
Doc's
it.
been home watching the Kardashians all week.
Yeah,
but I just think it's a cool, clever way. And if you're a fan, you're waiting for the next prize inside. The next name they're going to come out with, like lipstick. I think they're going to take from me. I'm pretty sure.
I think that's what's happening
I think
right now.
Matt's like, I'm writing that down.
I'm sure Stedman's out there listening, going, "Oh, very good idea."
Yeah,
he's German.
We get our fair of suggestions. Yeah,
I'm sure you do.
For sure.
Actually, that's probably the downside of having a theme thing like this. You got to listen to stupid ideas all week long.
How about doggy biscuit? Yeah.
That English pale.
Milk bone, milk
leg
stout.
lifter, yeah.
Leg lifter, right?
Yeah, it's that yellow beer.
But I even like some of the more simple ones. Like I like that you do a Dogtoberfest Märzen. Guard Dog. What kind of beer do you think Guard Dog is, JP?
I think Guard Dog is probably a raspberry wheat beer. I have no idea.
It's a beer de Guard. Guard Dog beer de Guard.
I get it. That's good.
These things are awesome.
Unfortunately, nobody gets that one. That's the problem with that. So it's a nice little play on words. I really like the name originally, but I don't think anybody makes the connection.
Yeah.
Well, nobody makes a beer de Guard, so it's
true.
You know what I mean? It's not a style that readily pops to mind.
It's an educational thing.
But I get it.
Stick with it.
I think it's good.
In heat wheat. That one's fantastic.
No, that should be the raspberry wheat.
Ew.
Yeah. It was right. No, it's good stuff. Very, very good beers. Now, what's this last beer, Moscow, that we opened here?
This is the Tire Bite Golden Ale. Who suggested Tire Bite, Matt?
This was a little. I started with the organization in 2003, and it's a little. That beer already existed when I came around, but I've heard stories that was once Fat Tire came on the market in Colorado, that was taking a little cut at those guys at New Belgium. So I don't know if that's really true or not, but that's what the lore has it as.
I like that even better.
Yeah.
When you can start kind of fucking with your
taking digs at your competitors.
Because they're all friends in general. So it's more in the beer industry. It's pretty rare that you're taking a serious dig. It's more to have fun with it.
Yeah.
So I like that even better.
Yeah, it took like 10 years for that to come out.
Yeah, right. I think we should start here a whole beer label where we just make fun of all the breweries that we love.
Right.
Like the more we make fun of you, the more we love you.
Right. Why can't we brew beer?
We'll do it like a Sinking Dog pale ale or something. I don't know.
Russian Railroad.
Yeah, we'll just each beer will be our, an homage to our favorite.
Not the same.
Right. Well, Matt, thanks so much for being on the show, man. I really appreciate your time. Did I lose him?
He's out.
He preempted you.
Yeah.
He's like,
He's like-
he started hearing you say bye. He's like, later.
He had a heart out. He's like, I gotta go.
Let's find out what happened here.
Let's just act like it didn't happen and move on.
All right. There he is. There he's right.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Matt. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Sorry.
I don't know. We were just making fun of all the breweries in the world while you were on the line, so you didn't miss anything. Actually, I really was just thanking you for your time, Matt. I really appreciate you spending some time with us. Let me make sure I got through our listener questions before I let you go here. One of our chat room members wants to know what happened to Growler Thursday at the brewery.
Growler Thursdays. Let's see what happened there. I think there's a rule that Maryland is putting in place, or maybe was in place, where you have to fill new growlers all the time, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. So we're definitely battling with Maryland, but we expect the situation to be fixed very quickly.
Okay. All right, and another listener wants to know, do you use different yeast pitching rates or fermentation temperatures for the Raging Bitch in order to get the yeast esters and hop flavors to meld together better? I know you mentioned when we were talking about it, kind of the whole process, but do you kind of manipulate that pitching rate a little bit?
We do. Raging Bitch has a different pitching rate than our other beers. Oxygen-wise, we have some standards in place for what our target dissolved oxygen level is in the fermenter, and we just try to stick to that. So we have some specific parameters surrounding Raging Bitch fermentation.
Okay. And another question came through. Do you have any sour beers scheduled for release in 2012?
We do. We have a Berliner Weiss. We're actually going to do two versions of this. We're going to do what we're going to call sour cherry. That will into the market. That is a Berliner, kind of is pre-mixed cherry gray to balance out that tartness, and that will be in May. Locally, that's draft only, and we'll Berliner Weiss later in the year, probably October.
Okay, you were cutting out a little bit, but that first one you mentioned was also a Berliner Weiss, right?
Yes.
Yes, there he is.
I'm here.
Yeah, it's cutting out, I think, just on our end is what's happening.
Or just couldn't decide to answer.
And then the last question I see from my chat room is, has Raging Bitch changed over the last couple years because of hop shortages or hop issues?
No, it hasn't. So the recipe is identical to what we settled on in 2009, the recipe that the combination that we like best. And we've actually done pretty well with our Amarillo contract. And we've kind of dialed in exactly what our production level can be month by month, and what that means for the growth of the beer. And we're actually in really good shape. And in fact, we've got a nice big contract that's in the it's of course in the ground now that we'll get at the end of this year, and we're going to be in good shape. So we haven't missed a beat with it.
Okay,
cool.
All right. Well, I just want to thank you again, Matt, for spending time with us, and I wish Flying Dog Brewery luck. You guys are awesome, man. You're doing really good things, so keep it up, please.
Great. It's been my pleasure, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. I may take you up on your offer to try that new beer, too, man. I want to try that Pilsner with English hops. So.
And I may take you up on your offer to do your artwork for your labels, even though you didn't offer.
That wasn't an offer.
We'll see what happens. I'll definitely get a care package out to you guys. Sure thing.
Very cool. Thanks, brother. It's nice to talk to you, man. Take care.
Yep. Cheers.
All right. There you go. Matt Brophy from Flying Dog. And what a cool brewery.
Yeah.
And a good concept. Sounds like I would like to meet the owners, the founders. I bet that they're interesting dudes.
I think so, too.
They climbed K2 and then came down, hallucinated, and named their brewery.
Right.
Yeah. Live next door to Hunter S. Thompson, You know some crazy shit was going down on that ranch.
Sure. Oh, no. He's perfectly
straight edge.
Straight edge.
It was all marketing.
Neighbor.
I mean,
They got guns and drugs on that ranch. You can bet on that.
These are my kinds of people.
Yeah, guns, yeah.
I wonder if they golf.
They probably got a golf course.
I wonder if they golf at Burning Man. Then they'd be great.
I bet they drop acid and golf. Oh, I bet my game would really improve.
If you
Or at
dropped
least
acid?
you think it does.
You think it did.
Yeah. I wouldn't even be playing on a golf course. I'd just be out on the freeway.
Yeah, I have to hit this egg into that spider web. Here we go.
Yeah. All right, cool brewery. You can go check them out at flyingdogales.com, I think it says on their bottle. And
just go there.
Just go check it out. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about advanced extract techniques with Doc and Moscow. You brewed an extract with them today, Doc?
Yeah, I did.
What kind of beer was it?
Kolsch.
Oh, right. Oh, that's an interesting style to do extract.
Yeah, well, that's the whole idea. So to make the more difficult one, try to do what we can to make a good one.
Nice. Okay. When's the last time you brewed an extract batch, man?
Yeah. Oh,
been a while.
The funny thing was I had Chris Graham
Sounds like a long answer.
make up my recipe. And
Okay.
actually, I had him deliver it too, which is nice.
Right.
But I went into B3 yesterday, and I was talking to the guys there, and they were just so confused. They go, "This is weird. This is not a Doc recipe. What's going on here? Are you sure? Are you sure?"
They thought they were going to get it wrong.
Yeah, they thought they were getting it. What do you mean? What's this? What's this? It's not a Doc recipe. Are you
This
sure?
isn't Doc.
Yeah.
What did you do with Doc?
Yeah. So I explained it to them. Oh, okay.
I see.
So,
all right, cool. Well, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll learn about that with Phil, Moscow, and Doc. Some advanced extract techniques. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Have you ever dreamed about attending the World Brewing Academy? This year, thanks to Lalamond and Danstar, one lucky brewer will make that dream a reality for free. Lalamond and Danstar invite you to enter the Beer School 2012 contest. One lucky grand prize winner will receive fully paid tuition in the 2012 World Brewing Academy web-based concise course in brewing technology worth more than $3,000. From now until April 12, 2012, every Danstar yeast package you use is your ticket to enter. Visit danstaryeast.com for the details and to print your official entry form. There's no limit on the number of times you can enter, so get brewing with Danstar and get your entries in to the Danstar 2012 Beer School Contest. Whether you want to build your home brewing skills or build a career as a professional brewer, this course will change the way you think of beer and brewing. Enter at danstaryeast.com and get the dry yeast advantage with Danstar and Lalamond Premium Brewing Yeast and enter to win. By popular vote from the Northwest Brewing News, HopTech has been voted the best homebrew shop in Northern California. Serving homebrewers for nearly 30 years in Dublin, California, HopTech carries more than 40 different kinds of hops and more than 60 different grains. Malt extract, spices and sugars, hop oils and extracts. Open every day except Wednesday or shop online anytime at hoptech.com or call 1-800-DRY-HOPS, 1-800-379-4677. With in-store classes almost every Saturday, huge selection and a dedicated commitment to their customers, HopTech is one of the longest running and passionate homebrew stores, period. And now, by popular vote, the best homebrew shop in Northern California. And don't forget their 15% military discount. HopTech. Visit today at hoptech.com.
When you hear
hear Blickman Engineering, think innovation, passion, quality, and customer service. Blickman gear is designed by brewers to give you a sense of pride in your equipment. At Blickman, they know what makes brewing a pain and build gear that makes it fun. Like the intuitive beer gun, a completely different approach to filling bottles. The Therminator Wort Chiller, a new take on a plate chiller that's sized for flow, performance, and the high groundwater temps homebrewers face every day. The Brewmometer, a brilliant weldless thermometer design with brewing parameters right on the dial. The Autosparge, ultimate simplicity for preventing an overflow or running your mash tun dry. And much more, like the modular top-tier brewing stand, conical fermenters, and their Boilermaker brew pots. With more cutting-edge equipment coming soon, keep up with the latest from Blickman at BlickmanEngineering.com and stay on the cutting edge.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small. Single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit!
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Mix me your 100-grain amber recipe, and I'm going to eat it. And then it can ferment in my gut. It totally works. The beer is almost identical to the grain sandwich.
Your colon won't know what hit it.
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
Radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
Streets have only people in potholes. I just got fired trying to work for assholes. If it lasted a little bit longer, I would have quit. But it's 3 weeks till Christmas, and I wanna buy my girlfriend a gift. Oh well, it's for the better. I can tell. I guess I don't respond well. The middle management, most of them is spineless. So the masters with the grudge against anyone like me who won't put up with an attitude. Monkey's pinching pennies telling me what to do. I'm tired of working for assholes. 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 I could understand a little better if you're up in Trump Tower, but you're turning into monsters for $10 an hour. You're cowards. Like monkeys with whips, I make a buck less than you when you want me to do backflips. Nah, you're mistaken. Gotta bring home the bacon, but it's not worth the shit that I'm taking. The smiles you're faking. I'm sure I have my price, but it's more than $9.75. Oh, got tired. Every day was the same. On up until I got fired. Oh, got tired. Every day was the same. On up until I got fired. No more of the same. No more of the same thing. No more of the same. No more of the same thing. I'm too broke, but I need a vacation. I could save up some money, but I'm way too impatient. I know that a weekend away's within my reach. Cause Yankees got a buddy you can put me in a room on the beach. No fee, just food and gasoline. Just gotta hop a couple hurdles that could make it hard. A small check, insure and register my car. I know I'll just put it on you were starting. I'm tired of working for assholes. 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 Freedom at last. I got a pack of cigarettes, a 12-pack of pants, and I'm set with the materials I need to forget. I told my girlfriend the news and she isn't even upset. She's the best, bless her little soul. When she gets home, dinner's ready and I'll pack her a bowl. I'll pack my lady a bowl. Got tired. Every day was the same. All up until I got fired. Same thing, no more of the same, no more of the same thing.
$888-401-BEER. This is the session.
Welcome back to the program. Thank you for sticking with us. Thanks to Matt from Flying Dog Brewery for spending time with us talking about the beers today. And, I mentioned at the beginning of the show a couple different ways that you can support the program. And another way to do that is to buy porn and lingerie. Yeah, that's right. If you're looking to spice things up in the bedroom or been fantasizing about surprising your lover with an adventurous new toy or adult movie, we've got the discount for you. You can go to adamandeve.com, and if you use coupon code BNARMY, BNARMY, you can select one item at 50% off, and then get 3 free DVDs and a free extra gift. Sensual is how it's pronounced.
Come on.
That we can't even mention it on internet radio. To top it all off, you get free shipping.
Whoa!
Free shipping.
Whoa!
50% off, 3 DVDs, 1 gift, free shipping.
That's always the trouble about ordering online. It's like you get hosed by all that shipping thing. Free shipping?
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. And you support the program because they stick with us if you go keep buying your dildos and shit from them. So, coupon code BNARMY, adamandeve.com.
Check it out.
All right. So, Doc, when was the last time before today that you brewed an extract beer?
Funny story, Justin.
Yes. Well, the first time I woke up this morning.
When was it, Doc? How long?
I guess it was probably 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that long. Club only competition.
Yeah.
They'll have a extract only thing, but it's not extract only. It's at least 50% of the grist has to be from extract.
I see. So you could use you used other grist, actual grist.
Right. Yeah, you do a mini mash, and you can do that. And generally, that's what I'll do. But just to say, so last year's Scotty 70 recipe. The one I got a gold with?
Gold.
Yeah. That was an extract, actually.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so...
Did you do... Now, when you do extract, and today included, are you doing 20 gallons using your full system?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
It's like the biggest extract batch in
history.
history.
Yeah, it's a lot. And today was more of a kind of a teaching thing for Moscow and Phil, and I want... For me, it's like, I get to try something new.
So, Moscow, who's Phil? Introduce the audience to Phil.
This is Phil Maynard. He's my buddy from college.
Okay. And you're Moscow's brewing partner now.
Yeah, we've known each other for way too long.
Partners.
Okay.
So
who got who into the brewing? Did you bring Phil along on this journey?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Since I've been hanging out with you guys and you've poisoned my mind, I decided I would bring Phil in on the journey, as it were.
So you guys have brewed extract yourselves at your house, Moscow.
It's actually at Phil's. Phil's got the garage, so he got the setup over there.
Yeah, this is how I got roped into it. He started working for you guys and got real interested in brewing and wanted to do it himself, but he didn't have the real estate to set it up at his place, so he brought it over to mine and talked me into it, and we brewed up a first batch. It came out medium, but we got completely hooked
we
on
thought
it.
It was great because it got like some kind of wild yeast in there or something.
But you always love your first batch.
Yeah, you always love it.
And your friends love it, too, because it's free. And
Yeah, we didn't do any of that.
It's like your first vagina. No matter how bad it is, It's your first vagina.
Exactly.
You love it.
It did smell somewhere, so.
Right. If it got it got some sort of infection. Interesting.
No,
all right.
Yeah, it really did. It was supposed to be, I forget what style we targeted, but it came out almost like a Saison. With a really
it was supposed to be like a session ale, and it tasted
Yeah.
it tasted like wild yeast.
Okay.
Session, Saison.
So you had your first sanitation lesson on your first batch.
Yes.
All right. And so how many batches have you guys brewed together?
Well, I've done, I don't know, probably maybe 6 or 7 at this point, but Phil's actually kind of ran with it. And what are you at now? Like
I'm about 20, I think.
Wow. I didn't even know that you've done that many, Moscow.
Yeah, well, we've been brewing a lot for Phil's getting married in a couple of months, and we're brewing beer for wedding favors. So we were doing a batches back to back.
Are you sure, Phil, being a new brewer and all, that you don't want to hire someone else to brew the beer for your wedding? Or are you confident it's going to be okay?
Well, the main point is that it's fun, right? I mean, like, I can buy beer at the store. That system already is in place, right? I mean, if I wanted to make something myself, is the main beauty of having it in my garage.
Right.
Yeah, but is it going to be as fun for your guests?
It's the question.
When they drink it.
It's good. One of them is Tasty's recipe, so
Janice Brown.
It
Okay.
better be good.
Now, are you going to do...
It's not his fault. It's going to be your fault.
Your fault.
Yeah.
Are you going to do, like, cool names for the beers, like I'll Never Get Blown Again, PA?
My life is over. Extra
One woman
stout.
the rest of my life. Can you believe it? Double IPA?
Shoot Me Now, Brown, anything like that?
No
Yeah,
more anal
figure,
tail.
We'll figure out something. That's still up in the air. So if you guys have suggestions, send them in.
We're
I got
sending them
one.
in right
Yeah.
now.
I got blown for the last time. Pale ale, yeah.
One more girlfriend, blonde ale.
Pale anal.
Oh, that's a great... This is our new pale anal.
It's an Irish red.
It's more like an American brown.
That's fantastic.
Just for the first month or so, then it's
Yeah.
So, how are you going to serve these beers? It's going to be draft bottles.
Oh, we did 22-ounce bottles, so we'll give
okay.
one to each person. They can.
Nice. Well, I got a good hookup for some custom caps.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's too late
You
for
wanna
that.
have-
It's about 10,000 at a time, though.
Yeah, it's all already done.
Oh, when's your wedding?
It's a month from now. So we finished a couple
good.
months ago, the last batch.
I'll never see another pussy pilsner.
Yeah. I get it. Keep coming.
I'm in there. I'm just thinking, I'm just feeling for you.
I'll never have any more friends besides my wife. Wit beer.
I got another one. Laid 4 times a year wit.
There you go. Yeah. Honey, am I allowed out of the house? Ale of any kind?
Where did you put my balls? Saison.
All right. How long have you known this broad that you're about to marry?
Over 4 years now. We met the very start of 2008.
I got beers older than that.
Right.
We actually tried a bunch of those today.
Yeah.
Doc, do you have any advice for Phil?
Well, it was sort of a strategic
It's already too
move
late
'cause
for advice.
It's too late for advice.
It's already bottled.
Right. Right.
She wasn't super happy about Scott and I making a mess of our premises, so that's one of the reasons I wanted to get her in on it. So now we're making the beer together, so she doesn't hate
It's
the
for
brewing.
you, honey.
That's right. We got her on board.
Right.
It's my penis
Slick
pale
move.
ale.
All right. So you guys decide to go brew with Doc and do an extract batch. Is it to learn more about the process? Why'd you go with Doc?
Well, we're not quite ready to move on to all grain yet.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd just speak for myself, but we sort of wanted to take the extract to the next level. And Doc was the one who actually suggested it. Like, we can really dial in extract here. You don't need to.
Hang on. I think Bevo has a beer name.
No,
Then never mind.
No,
You
I
can't
just had
interrupt.
like the perfect intersection.
Oh,
I was
forget
gonna
it.
say, who else is he gonna go with? You? But then he kept talking, and I couldn't butt in.
I can't believe I stopped you for that.
I'm sorry.
Carry on, Moscow.
I'll never write for Bevo again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so Doc suggested it, and I thought it was a great idea, and it's not something that we've talked about, at least not since I've been here, is how to, because, when they don't really dial in, usually you've switched to all grain by the time you're getting any decent at extract brewing.
Yeah, you kind of
yes and
cap
no.
out.
We did an intermediate show because I was a pussy about going to all grain for a while too, and so went to mini mash, and we did a mini mash show back in the day that you can go find. But I'm glad we're doing it anyway now again because there is some new information and some new perspectives that we didn't have back then.
Yep.
Did you do a mini mash today, Doc? Did you use partial grist or was
Yes.
it all extra? So
No,
you
no,
did.
no,
Okay,
yeah.
great. So this is part of the kind of advanced extract technique thing, I think, where you are doing some form of mashing as well.
The whole thing came about when Moscow gave me some of the Kolsch that him and Phil made. It was a very nice beer, actually, but it was not a Kolsch.
Okay.
And it was kind of like a good extract beer.
What was it too sweet to be a Kolsch?
Too melanoidin, too caramely. It was nicely balanced, but Kolsch is bordering on lager.
It is, and it's also a really light in color. What was the color like on that Kolsch?
That color was about an 11 SRM.
Oh, okay. So
it's not. It wasn't in the. It's a good pale ale color.
Yeah,
it was
like a
not.
pale orange.
It was not in the 4, 5, 6 area where I wanted it to be.
What extract did you use on that? You remember?
It's a split. I think it was 4 pounds liquid and 2 pounds dried.
But what was was it a Pilsner malt extract or
the lightest barley that Brewcraft has?
So probably just a two-row based,
probably, yeah.
And not Pilsner?
Light and not Pilsner.
It wasn't Pilsner, I don't think. I don't think they have it there, right? I don't think so.
Okay.
So
gotta go to our sponsor, More Beer. Get that Pilsner extract,
which is what we use today.
Okay.
So I was trying to kind of hit things from a lot of different angles. One was don't overboil or boil your extract.
Okay,
that was the real key.
Yeah, don't because it caramelizes, and in this kind of beer, not good. In an English pale or ESB, it'd be great.
Okay,
it'd be fine.
So
But-
what is overboiling? Is that?
It's already been done. It's the guy boiled it. He made beer. He condensed it down and made extract for you.
Okay.
You don't need to do it more. All you got to do is get it wet.
So your traditional 60-minute boil, you don't have to do that with this extract.
No, you shouldn't because the guy already did it all for you.
All right.
The reason you're doing the 60-minute boil is to isomerize your hops and get the hop characteristics out of it, get your bitterness.
All right.
So, and you're only going to get it so light with your extract anyway. So that's where we go into this mini mash thing. And I try to design this to not be intimidating, that you don't have to have a lot of extra equipment. You just pretty much, you've already steeped grains, most extract brewers have. That's what we're going to do. We're steeping them at 150.
Instead of 70.
Or putting them in and boiling, or getting them up, getting it heat, and then pulling them out at 170. 'Cause you're just trying to strain the stuff like a tea bag. I said tea bag. But, but what we want to do is I want to put it at 150, keep it at 150 for an hour. So I decided they're going to come over at 10. I got everything going. Put it in at 9, 9:15. They showed up at 11:30.
Wait, Stoner showed up late?
Yeah.
So
I don't get it.
Had you kept it mashing at 150 for 2 hours then? You just kept it there. It doesn't hurt it, does it?
It doesn't hurt it because it's still, just as long as it doesn't go down and it's not going to sour or anything, it's fine.
Okay. But for the folks at home, they could have just done this mash at 150 for 1 hour.
Exactly.
And do you have a percentage of what was grist?
It was half-ish, but I had 20 pounds of Pilsner malt and
in the liquid extract.
And then the liquid extract, which I kept separate, which was about 11 pounds.
So you had 20 pounds of grain Pilsner malt.
Right.
Okay, all right.
And so we're basically just steeping it, which is the same as mashing. And I just kept it at, I wanted a fairly thick mash, so I only put probably 11 gallons of water. This is a 23-gallon batch, 25-gallon batch. So about 10 gallons of water-ish, and then 2 big grain bags in there. Let it sit, pulled it out, and then we put it into the other pot, and then I put water back up into it because I wanted to have almost a full dilution boil.
Okay.
And then the hops went in. And in the meantime, I had them mix up the extract in another small portion of water. And another experiment that I wanted to try was take the grains that we had, put those in the extract, see if we could mash down the extract a little bit more, try to make it a little more fermentable with the enzymes that were still in the grain.
I don't understand what you mean. So you put the extract in this other solution to more liquefy it.
Separate pot. No, yeah.
And then put the grains that you had already mashed in that as well?
Right.
Okay.
So the whole 20 pounds or is just some portion of it?
The whole 20 pounds.
Because you had it in a grain bag anyway.
I had it in a grain bag. Just pulled the grain bags out. What am I going to do with them? We just threw them in there. And the idea was to try the experiment of using the grains that were, or the enzymes that were in the grain still.
Sure.
Because I only up to 145, 150.
To convert what, though? The extract's already converted, right?
How do we know? It's because the
I see. In case it
because
wasn't.
if they whatever the fermentables or unfermentables were in there, maybe we can break them down some more.
You can light up with
because this is a Kolsch. I wanted very fermentable, very light beer.
So you're kind of stacking the deck to make sure that everything's been broken down.
And it was something that I had been reading about, something I wanted to try.
Okay. Now, let me back up just a sec to make sure I understand. You said that you wanted to do like a full dilution boil. So to me, what I'm hearing is you did your mini mash and you ran off into the kettle.
No, I did. I pulled the grain bags out.
So it was already in the kettle.
It was already in the kettle because I want to try to have somebody that only has one kettle.
Then you added just hot water. So that because you're going to do hops in this solution for a full 60-minute boil, even though you're not going to add the extract.
Right.
So you wanted to get that kettle as full as you could while still leaving room to add the extract later.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the hops work the same way as any other concentrated solution. If you're trying to boil at a really concentrated solution and then dilute later, it's only going to dissolve so much back into the solution, and you're going to hit a topping off mark. So when you have a more dilute solution, more of the isomerized alpha acids are going to go back in there.
Okay, well, that makes sense to me.
So
believe it or not.
Right. So
well, let me stop you here before you go further and ask the guys. So moving from extract, now seeing the tail end, albeit a mini mash. Are you freaked out at this point? Is there anything you don't understand, or does it appear like a simple addition to what you're already doing?
Not at all. Actually, I actually looked a little bit into the idea of mashing at home because I know it's sort of the next step, right? Can we get more sugars out of the grain we buy instead of just getting flavor and then using extract for the fermentable sugars?
Yeah.
And I saw you can get different levels of complexity on it, right? But the high end was very daunting. It's like you run it at multiple stop points, different temperatures, and you wash it, and you need 3 kettles to do it, right? But his system was really ingenious. You actually basically need 0 more pots.
Yeah.
You can just use
a
spaghetti pot or something, right?
Yeah.
And it's not even that different from steeping. You just get it to a specific temperature and then put it in the oven on warming. So it basically won't change temperatures from that point, right? So you get it to the temperature you want, you put it in your oven that's 150-ish. It's not going to change more than a degree or two over the course of an hour, and then you just use that instead of steeping it in your boil, basically.
Yeah, you don't even need a burner.
So basically what I'm telling he's talking about the big step going to all grain.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're going to step mashes, all this other stuff. We talked about just doing the mini mash in a separate pot, the biggest pot you have. It's probably only 5 pounds of grain, and put it in the hot water, let it sit, put it in the oven and warm. It'll stay there.
Yeah.
Then you can rinse it out after that. It's not that much big of a step.
No, it's real simple.
And then the complexity you're going to get, especially with this beer, it's a Kolsch. We want to have that Pilsner graininess come through. You're not going to get that with an extract, just extract alone. You're not going to get that with steeping. So we're trying to get the next thing, which is flavors.
Yeah.
You can get all the fermentables you want, like you said, with the extract.
Yeah, plus you're buying the grain. You want to at least be able to use it, right?
Right.
You already paid for it. Why not get the sugars out of it?
Sure.
You're steep. You know how to steep.
And
almost the same.
Now this, and I'm really enjoying this conversation because it's reminding me of the first time I did mini mash, and I was so excited afterward to find out that it is just another simple step in the process. You're already doing all of it.
Yeah,
it's just another simple step. I just remember coming out of that going, feeling so successful, like I was almost to all grain by doing very little different.
And you don't need more pots. You don't need more of this. You don't need more of that.
Well, like Doc said, the cool thing about the grain bags and things, too, is, like Doc got one for his 20-gallon system. He got this enormous grain bag. But you can also just get one that fits in your spaghetti pot, like you're talking about.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things, to not have to buy another brew kettle that can hold 10 gallons, right?
Yeah.
The fact that I can add this one extra step, and I don't have to have any more equipment or any more time.
Right.
Really, I just have to do it a little bit differently.
And my first mini mash was even lower tech because I just did it in a bucket. I heated the water in my kettle on the stove to 150, a little over 150, and then dumped it into a bucket with my bag of grain and let it sit in that bucket for an hour. Doc had given me, I think it was you, Doc.
The
jacket.
jacket.
It's like this little cooler jacket that fits perfectly over a plastic bucket. And that's how my first few so it was even lower tech than using the oven. So it's a very simple thing to do.
Yeah, the simplicity is really important to me because if he had showed me some step that made the beer taste a little better, but it was like 3 extra hours of work, you need to have all this stuff, I just wouldn't do it, right? I mean, like the beer we have is drinkable, and I mean,
we enjoy.
Yeah, it's good. And
you're about to be married. You're not allowed to.
I wouldn't want to go
spend more
through 5
than-
times more work just for like a marginal improvement, right? But it's,
Right.
it's almost no work. It's like work
For a
work
significant
smarter, not harder.
improvement.
It's basically no more work.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so you get this far, and you've added the grain flavor now to your Kolsch that you're looking for,
Right.
Doc. You started your boil, and you add your hops just like a 60-minute edition.
Exactly.
Okay. What other hop additions did you do?
Just the 60-minute.
What kind of hops?
We use mostly Hallertauer and then a little Perlay.
And no late additions?
Not in this beer.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
And
at what point do you put this extract in?
Probably the last 10 minutes-ish.
Okay, so the first thing you've done, though, is you've diluted it into, you've heated it up and diluted it.
Right, so we kind of overdid that, and then we knew what it would boil down to, just enough so we would have enough room to put the extract, the hydrated extract in there.
Mm-hmm.
We did run into some problems because, like I said, I hate doing too many variables, too many experiments at once, and one of the ones was putting the grain back into the extract to try to re-ferment it, try to get it a little more fermentable. Yeah, it might give us another few percentiles and stuff, but the one problem is I could have rinsed them all because I have that option. I didn't want to go there because they don't have that option.
Okay.
With a mini mash, you really should put it in a colander and rinse it through. Mm-hmm. We didn't do that, so we lost what I'm thinking a lot of fermentables that stay stuck in the grain.
I see what you mean. So
almost like batch sparging, but you would just by formula next time.
It was like
you would
batch
just use more grain.
Yeah,
same process.
or I probably wouldn't even go with putting the grain into the extract because we were doing the math. At the end we came up real low.
Oh, so even the sugars from the liquid extract, you're thinking, got absorbed into the bag of grain, which you're then removing.
Yep.
Right, and we just pulled it out of and I think we didn't rinse them. I think we would have got a lot more out of that, but we came up real low. So
okay,
knowing that I might screw up like that, I had extra DME around.
Okay,
so we put that back in there, and it boosted it back up.
Is there a particular type of DME, Doc? Since you're worried about color in this case, that you?
It's just the light DME.
Okay,
yeah, and which is nicer than the liquid because it doesn't have more of a caramel taste to it.
Okay,
so hopefully that. I had to release these guys to get to the show. That's why I was late. So I actually brought it back up to a boiled some more off to get. I wanted the gravity back up there. So we're about a 1040. I shoot for 1050, 52. We were really low originally, and we got it back up to about 1048.
Now, recipe wise, how many Grateful Dead songs had you listened to at this point, Moscow and Phil?
One too many
to get to this point in the process.
The entire Terrapin Station album.
I had it on. I didn't make them listen to it. I turned back on the radio, but mostly what we were talking about was.
There was some Rush on there.
There was a lot of Rush.
Some Scorpions.
Oh, that's right. Moscow's a Rush fan.
Yes.
Are you a Rush fan, Doc?
Not really, no.
Okay.
But
we had a spirited debate about Geddy Lee, the lead singer.
Oh, as you would.
Yeah. So, we had quite a 20-minute conversation about that.
All right. So you didn't Grateful Dead them?
No,
That's
I didn't.
too bad.
Mostly, I turned the stereo off so we could yak about processing things.
Okay.
More than anything else.
Yeah, we had sort of a lot going on because you were doing basically 2 experiments on your own that you wanted to try for your own edification, and there's also the mini mash, which is not new to the brewing world, but was new to Scott and I.
Yeah,
I had to make my system work so it was simple enough to not like, oh, you did it on your system.
Yeah.
So I just tried to work my system so it would work for them too.
This is why Doc's a great brewing partner and instructor. And I really mean this because you are thinking about these things because a very simple step, even though it's the same process, if it looks completely different, as a beginner, we kind of freak out about that. And you're a good instructor that way, putting yourself in their shoes so that they can go back to your garage and figure it out, Phil.
Yeah, I never met Doc before in my life, but you can tell he's got a very experimental scientific type of mind, because I kept asking him these questions, the kind of thing that I'm sure is in the brewing codex of knowledge, like any experienced brewer knows. But it's like, oh yeah, I tried that. This is why it's that. Oh, I tried that too, and that's why that doesn't work. And I tried this, and then that doesn't work. And I've got a bottle where I tried that. You don't want to drink it, but
more to the point, he's tried it, so you shouldn't be afraid to try it yourself
everything,
just because somebody else has tried it.
Well, he'll say, why doesn't that work? I say, this is why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It might not be good for you. I didn't like it. It's like, this is why that didn't work.
Right.
It worked better if you do it this way. So it was my system. I pretty much kept it to 2 vessels.
Okay. So you said in the last 10 minutes is when you added the liquid extract solution back?
I just wanted to rehydrate it and get it hot enough so it sanitized it.
So you didn't even get it to a boil in the other vessel? You just got it hot enough
it was at 150, and Phil mix it in.
Okay.
And it just rehydrated it, so it was...
It's literally extract and warm water was the only thing in that pot, and then we'd put the spent mash grains in with it for an hour.
Which I wouldn't do again. Unless I figure out a way to make that work, but I think that was the downfall.
What if, say you put it in there and it did absorb a lot of the sugar into the grains? What if you then took those sacks and put them back into the kettle where you got this lighter?
That could have worked.
That could have worked.
That could have worked.
Your sparge.
We were running out of time at that point because we had the show to get
just
to.
a quick dunk, And,
sure.
That might have worked out too.
Right.
And then you retain the grain flavor you're looking for, Doc. Plus, you maybe put those sugars back in solution.
Right, but it would have rinsed it up because it's a more dilute solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I would have worried about was the fact that it was boiling at that point, and then we got husks and above 170 kind of stuff.
That's true. That's a good point.
I would have probably tried a quick rinse.
But just a quick one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have, you probably wouldn't have got much.
Yeah.
But you're looking for the grain flavor. Sometimes the little huskiness might be addition.
So that would have been a good. You should have been there.
We got. Like I said, it would have added time. You're trying to just get. We're done.
And
the DME wasn't a bad movie.
When it came up to being really low on a lot lower than I thought with the original gravity, it's like, I'm not letting this one go. No. So we're gonna try to work it and make it back up to where we want.
Okay.
So it was boiling. I turned the boil off when I left to come here, and the chiller's on. So when we go back, it should be chilled down to a good temperature. I'll put it in the fermenter.
Oh, so you just got it recirculating through your chiller.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you guys did you end up with kind of more questions about the process as you're going through it, or was it pretty clear?
I think I ended up with more questions answered than new questions, actually. A lot of stuff was stuff that I'd thought of before, but didn't know exactly like where to get started, right? Like, I knew that mashing existed, and that if you're just steeping your grains, you're not getting all the sugars that you could be out of it, right? So I know that there's room for improvement. There is a next step.
Well, you're not looking for conversion at all. You're just looking for a little bit of flavor and a little bit of color.
Yeah,
but you're not really converting anything.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you have them. They're in there. You could get them if you did these extra steps, and that's
it depends on your grain,
right?
Yeah. Well, he would never use base malt.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now he's not afraid of base malt.
Yeah.
Right.
He'd use a different recipe, right? But I mean, even in some of the recipes have base malt in them anyway, even though it doesn't actually get mashed or really convert anything, right? Some of them have base malt in there for flavor, right? In general, no. It'll be you may have found something, but in general, it's more crystals and different malts that will add color and stuff. But even with the mini mash, when you are now doing some conversion and obviously using base malt, one problem that still plagues me today that has been created for you now is math. Now, I mean this honestly. Now you have to factor in, with your steeping grain, you're not factoring in any additions of sugars to your gravity. So you can punch into your Beersmith software how much extract you've used, and that's. But now you've got to add your extract. It's going to calculate that, and you have to add your fermentables from the mini mash portion, which
of your
are
grain.
partially unknown because you don't know your exact conversion rate.
You'll dial it in quickly, but you're right. In your first couple ones. In my case, eternally, you will have some fluctuation with your original gravity.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you're getting at the end, you're not doing math. You're just doing some stuff and then measuring it, right?
I purposely didn't throw math in there,
right?
Because a lot of times I'll figure out the boil volume, the gravity where it is, and I know how far I got to boil it down to get to the gravity I want.
Yeah, I mean,
which you'll get eventually too, or you could go to beersmith.com
King of the segue
and get your free 21-day trial of their brewing software. And I am sort of making a funny segue out of this, but it's really pretty simple. Even though I'm saying you have to do math, you really don't. If you use something like Beersmith, you'd go to it, you'd punch in that you used 11 pounds of extract today, and you'd tell them it's listed in there as an ingredient. You just go find it. Then you'd also punch in the grain bill that you did, and it would calculate basically what your the gravities that you're going to get. You would have to do it a few times to dial in to your particular system, so you might not get it right off the bat, but something like Beersmith actually does make it pretty easy. You can go get a free 21-day trial right now at beersmith.com and take the guesswork out of brewing, and certainly don't have to do the math in your head that way, and it would help you.
This recipe actually was done on Beersmith.
Oh, is that right?
I have switched over to Beersmith.
Attaboy.
I'm struggling a little bit.
Yeah,
I've been pro mash for a long time.
You're older.
I know, and I can do pro mash in my sleep. But this one, it's different. It's not It's not bad.
It's more robust. That's for sure.
It does, and so I just hate that feeling like I'm missing something. Like
you need the challenge, Doc. You need to challenge
and that's
yourself.
what I'm doing. So this actually, that's what I did. I jumped in with both feet with this one. This is
Cool.
probably one of the second or third batch with Beersmith that I've done, and I had to when I had put in my recipe, and with the hops, it was all Hallertauer. When I got the Hallertauer in my hand, the alpha acid percentage was different.
As it was in Beersmith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beersmith has a random amount, which is, let's say it's 4%.
Yeah.
These were at 3.2. So I had to recalculate.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any more Hallertauer, but I had Perlay, I had Saz, I had some other things I could have used, so I actually punched it back into Beersmith. How much I need to get back to my IBUs, and it told me exactly what I needed.
Oh, yeah.
So it made it so much simpler than me just guessing.
See, my ads are working. Our advertising works, Moscow.
No
I even got our staff to... every time I know Doc, and every time he's opened the other program since I've started these ads, he hears my stupid voice in his head.
Beersmith.
Saying, Beersmith, free 21-day trial.
Push yourself, Doc. Push yourself.
Well, I've had the trial one, but what actually hooked me over was for winning the gold, they gave me a free copy of Beersmith.
Cool.
And I'm glad they did, because it's a new challenge, something I'm learning, and it's got a lot of different things in there that are real nice. It's more updated. It's more intuitive.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
It's good stuff.
I couldn't imagine actually brewing without software anymore, even before that, because I used to have my logbook. I've still got my old logbook. That's what it was. Logbook. And then I got into Pro Mash, and that was big turnaround. And I can already tell that Beersmith is really going to make it. I can't imagine brewing without software anymore.
I mean, if you're a glutton for punishment, these equations are in How to Brew. You can go buy Palmer's book and look at the equations and do the math.
Or you could just slam your hand in a car door over and over.
Right, yeah. Or you could just get the software.
I'm actually not that opposed to math. It's just I don't feel the need to be that exact with it now. I mean, it's the kind of thing where this beer turned out good. Maybe it could have been a little bit more alcoholic. I'll add another pound of extract the next time.
I like it on the fly too. It's like when oh God, my alpha acids are off. Or what happens if I add the hops at 30 minutes instead of 20 minutes?
So what do you equate the if you pre-did the recipe in Beersmith? What do you equate the loss of your gravity to? What do you attribute that difference?
The grain. It got sucked up into the grain, which we didn't rinse the grain.
Stuck in the grain bag.
Why not?
Why not what?
Oh, he said that.
Why not? Didn't you? I must have missed it.
Yeah. It was a time thing. He should have rinsed the grain.
It was that, and
it would have been over volume, too.
It would have been over volume, so it wouldn't have mattered. We would have diluted that up more, diluted that, and it would have been the same thing. We'd have a lot more beer at the same gravity.
Because usually you want to rinse the grain first, and then add the rest of your water, and then add your extra.
Well, normally we wouldn't have even rinsed the grain with the mini mash. We would
really?
We would.
That's where you get most, like the third, almost half of your sugars is rinsing that 2-row out.
The last third, the first 2/3 is what you just drain out of it. and
Well,
the last third
sugar, I guess.
Yeah. But if we're doing a mini mash, I was already talking to these two about it. You throw it in the colander and you pour hot water over it. But I wanted to keep it real simple. Not. Oh yeah, I could have easily just pulled it off my other third kettle over there and rinsed it on through and pulled it through. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have my brew kettle and that one other kettle or that one other pot that had the grain into it.
Yeah.
And we drained it off and it just wasn't there, and it would have the volume, like Tasty said, the volume would have been more. That means like more dilution.
Right.
And I could have boiled more. It was just it was an experiment that we probably shouldn't have done at the same time.
But with the mishap, you guys got to learn another cool fix for the process. And that's another good thing about brewing with an experienced brewer is that if a problem arises, there's a trick to fix it in general. So even if you're not too concerned with your exact numbers, Phil, if you end up missing your OG by like 10 points, that's something you want to fix that the beer is closer to a couple points. Who gives a shit? I don't. But, if you miss big, well, having DME on hand, just a dry extract that you can always... Because it's easy if you've overshot your gravity, add some water. You can dilute it. But what if you undershoot it? And so now keep it... So it's almost better, Doc, that you did the experiment and this happened because they get to learn the tool of having some DME around.
Right. That's the biggest thing I learned from the years of doing the show with Tasty is I have 3 to 5 pounds of extract on hand all the time.
All the time.
It seems obvious, but if you don't think about it, you don't think about it.
Sure.
I buy it by the 50-pound sack.
Well, isn't pretty.
I'm making starters all the time.
Yeah.
And I sometimes intentionally undershoot my gravity so I can just hit it exactly. I can just,
Are you exaggerating? Do you really buy DME by the 50-pound sack?
Yeah.
No shit.
I never buy those 3 pounds, 1 pound.
Right. No. Just keep it around. Well, it doesn't go bad, I guess.
Oh, no, I got an airtight container.
Yeah.
Always there.
That's hardcore.
I'm not saying I wish I didn't do all this. I learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
So, now next time we're doing this, we're doing that.
Sure. Well, that's what I mean is that, you say maybe we shouldn't have done the experiment, but I say you should have because look what happened.
I think it's still going to be an awesome beer.
Okay.
It's still going to be an awesome beer.
There's still a couple things that I didn't quite understand about it because we got some really funny numbers because we measured it after the first, the target original gravity was 1047 for this recipe.
1052.
No.
It was 1047.
Was it?
And the tolerance range was 44 to 50, I think.
No, it was the bricks reading was 7.5, so it was.
But the target was
29.
The target was 47.
Yeah, but that was without the extract.
Yeah.
And then when we had the extract, it really didn't go up much.
Oh, interesting.
It was 1030 before the extract, and then 1030 after the extract.
Yeah, and so the volume went up. But we didn't really get that big. But we didn't rinse the grains either.
It's all stuck in that grain.
It's all stuck in the grain, and
you can make a small beer with it. What you got there?
Yeah,
it's funny because that's exactly what I said, didn't I?
Yep.
And we can make small beer out of that.
I think it was. We didn't rinse the grains, and I think the grains maybe even absorbed some of the extract too because they sat in there.
Yeah,
definitely.
Had we rinsed it because it was a single batch sparge. Boom, and went out. And we didn't even.
Yeah.
Which we could have done again if we had the volume in the boil kettle.
Yeah.
And I think maybe also we had quite a bit of water with the extract too, and that's maybe why the gravity didn't go up with the extract.
You know what's interesting about, JP, you're saying it like, that it's, I know you work for More Beer for so long and you guys must have instructions, and it sounds like you're saying it's regular practice to rinse it, but I don't remember rinsing it either. When I did mini mash, I remember pulling out the bag, squeezing it. I did as much of that as I could. It was hot as hell. I remember. So,
Doc told us specifically not to do that.
I remember that too. Is that you don't want that there can be some grainy. What's it called? The husky tannin things. No. But I wasn't too. Maybe I stopped after I heard that. Anyhow, I don't think I ever rinsed it either. Like it was common knowledge.
You did it wrong.
So,
when I first started, I went from extract to mini mashing, and I did. I would take the grain bag, I would dump it out. Take the grain bag in the colander and then hot water and run it through.
Right over it. Okay.
And it would rinse it out again, which is what we didn't do. I'll bet we lost.
It sounds like a bunch. If gravity barely rose.
Sweetest sweet was in that grain.
Yeah.
A little rinsing would have got a lot of that back. Yeah.
So it was almost like doing the double mash when you want to do something really big, like a barley wine. You take your grain and you run it off the mash. Put new grain in there, and you take what you ran off, and that's your new strike water.
I see.
So you've already got a 1040 beer that goes back into
That's what they do
on top of the grain.
Farson Walker Double Jacks made that.
Is that right?
Yeah. So you're actually using your strike water on new grain that's already at about 1040, and it goes back in there.
Okay. All right.
And this is not a small amount of barley, too. It's 20 pounds worth, so we really left a lot in there.
Yeah. So it sucked up a lot.
Was it just Pilsner malt?
Just Pilsner.
Just plain Pilsner malt. Remember the brand or who?
It was More Beer Continental Pilsner. So,
Okay.
German Pilsner.
Okay. What yeast you going to put in that?
Kolsch.
The White Labs Kolsch yeast?
Yes.
It's the only Kolsch yeast there is.
Yeah. we have a pretty big starter going.
Yeah? How many? What do you got? Like 4 liter?
3 gallon.
Oh, yeah, because you're 20 gallon batch.
Yeah.
And you what temperature are you going to ferment?
I'm going to go low, probably in the 62 range, probably.
So you've got your little 3 gallon carboy I've seen over there on the stir plate right now?
Yeah.
Nice. Had you guys made a starter before?
Nope, first time.
No,
okay.
We only do 5-gallon batches, and I usually just shake it up real good after I pitch the 1 vial of White Labs yeast.
Yeah.
Usually it starts pretty fast. Like it's
within a day.
It started within a day, and after a day and a half, it's really going. So.
Well, listen, it's not just about the amount of time it takes to start. It's really not, because it's more about stress to the yeast getting started. So now, White Labs does recommend and says it's fine to do the 1 vial. So I'm not telling you that you're doing it wrong, but I would encourage you to try a starter, even on your 5-gallon batches, and see if you can taste the difference. I bet you will.
You think there's some stress getting started that's producing off flavors?
I just think there can be. There are mixed answers to that question out there. Yeah. But if you're to ask Jamal, he would say absolutely do a starter. It doesn't matter. Do a starter. And
if anything else, it wakes up the yeast and gets them going. Even Chris White has told me for many years, take the vial and crack it. Just let it sit with a little vent,
and then put it next to your balls,
and then put it in there.
Because
an hour of open to the pressure of just
starts to wake them up.
Starts to wake them up, and then try to put it.
And I mean it. Put it in your front pocket. Put it next to your balls.
Just warm it up.
It'll warm it up. Yeah. But anyhow, but you could be the judge, is what I'm telling you, because there are mixed answers to that. And do one without, and do one with.
It certainly couldn't hurt.
No. And it's easy to do, and you can go to MrMalty.com and use their pitching rate calculator, and he'll kind of tell you, like, if you do the amount of time, it's kind of cool, because you could say, I'm brewing on Saturday, and maybe it's Friday night, and he'll tell you how many vials of yeast you need to put in your starter to get to your pitching rate. And maybe it's 1. It's probably more likely, if you're doing it that late, like I normally do, to be a couple of vials.
So excuse my ignorance here. What is pitching rate, and what is it?
It's the simple answer, which is all I can give, is that it's the amount of cells you need to properly ferment that beer.
So we've always just done right after chilling, add one
vial.
White Labs vial.
That's right.
And that's our pitching rate, right?
That's fine.
That's your minimum.
Depends on what size. Well, how big is the beer? Like if you
the gravity,
like a bigger beer, you want to probably do.
And how if that yeast sample is several months old, or if it's brand spanking new, that's where it comes into it.
So we've always done new ones, or at least as new as it is at
sure,
the store.
And they're really good about that anyway. But another example, like Doc talking about just cracking it open, if you just take it right from the fridge cold and dump it into that shaken up solution, that wort that you've got, that yeast is sound asleep. It's as asleep as a Saturday morning after a bad beer party the night before.
What I usually do is I'll put it I'll take it out of the fridge when I start brewing.
Yeah.
So it's been sitting on the counter for 3 hours before I pitch it.
I'd do it the night before if I were you.
That 24 hours is.
If you're not going to do a starter, but I would recommend the starter. But if you're not going to do a starter, correct me if I'm wrong, JP. But I'd pull it out the night before.
Doesn't matter.
And then the day of, like Doc's talking about, you can do that little crack it open bad boy. And it'll start to... And you can crack it open, by the way. If you do that in the morning, you can do that little crack it open about 3 times. And every time you do it throughout the day, it's going to keep venting a little bit.
I was a little bit worried because the label says keep it refrigerated, but take it out 3 to 6 hours before you pitch it.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I didn't know if 24 hours would be too
Well,
much.
it's just...
It's not going to make a difference. It's 3 hours is totally fine.
As long as it's
the day
warmed
before
up,
is totally fine. Also, as long as it's not cold.
All right,
don't worry about it.
So there's that.
You're going to have guys that are sleeping in there. You're going to have 10% that are dead.
Yeah.
When you do a yeast starter, you can double them all because new beer. I'm not going to ferment this by myself, and they start budding and making new guys.
Yeah.
And so now you got twice as many, and they're all ready to go. Like
Yeah.
Tasty Super Yeast. So
It gets them in the right time, the right mental.
It puts them in the mood. It's like
treat them like animals. Think about yeast as animals.
Yeah,
they don't want to be
yeah.
shocked. They want to come. They want to be coming in at the same
and
temperature.
you go pick up your buddies for a party, and they're all kind of still hammered and sleeping. You know, it's going to take you a while to get them in the party mood. But
it's like trying. You don't know about this because you're about to be married, but it's like putting on good music when you're about to get laid. Like you got to do it to get him in the mood.
About to get what?
You forgot all about all that stuff. Now that's the problem.
Oh yeah, it's going to be better.
That's good. You're gonna like
marriage. Yeah, it'd be better after that.
Anyway, so Doc's doing the starter for you, Kolsch yeast,
Yeah,
and then
I
what
give him
temp?
about
You said low. What temp you going to ferment?
62-ish probably. Keep it low. Keep it clean.
Doing it in your more beer conical.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
do a rise at the end. You're gonna bump it up.
It's either that. Sometimes I'll bump it up. Sometimes I'll just let it just stay longer at that
Longer,
62. I might bump it up a little bit just because it's a very light beer. I don't want any diacetyl in there.
We can always taste it and see if we think it needs to be.
Yeah.
Like a little more.
And then once it goes into there, it's going into cold storage. Like it should be. It should be at least 3-4 weeks, really cold, and it'll clean it up, lager like.
Yeah.
And then we'll bottle it up.
Will this beer be a wedding beer also?
The one we made today?
Yeah.
No.
Won't be ready in time.
No, that'll be too good.
They
Yeah,
might
gotta be careful.
They might have a corny ready for them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, our wedding beer's all done, though. It's all bottled up and everything. It's ready to go.
When's the wedding?
5 weeks from yesterday.
Okay.
Come up real soon.
Well, you got to have something you can pull out, you know.
My bachelor party is in 2 weeks, and I have no idea what we're doing, basically. It's all planned, but I just don't know. So
Right.
Scott probably does, and he's
I do.
just grinning right now with all the bad things they're going to do to me.
We're going to go we're going to listen to old reruns of Loveline and look at old World War II airplanes. Doesn't that sound great?
That's why Moscow's real happy.
Make me see-do naked with a ball and chain on my ankles.
Moscow, you like this broad Phil's going to marry?
I do. She's a sweetheart.
That's good. Good girl.
Yeah. So what are you guys going to do for the bachelor
That's his
party?
lying voice.
Like manly stuff? You're going to make this woodworking thing. You're going to make that box. He's going to keep his nuts in?
No, it's we Phil wasn't kidding when we do a ball and chain for all the bachelors. It's a 8-pound bowling ball with a chain drilled into it, and you got to drag it around, attach to your ankle.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
I thought your bachelor party was supposed to be fun. It's
it is for all
sounds
the
real fun
friends.
for everyone but me.
That's right.
I see.
That sounds like you should pick new friends, Phil.
It's not too late.
It's not too late
at
no.
all. No.
Hey, don't worry, your wife's going to pick new friends for you.
And your clothes.
Yeah, and probably your beer.
Yeah.
So hey, I've got a question. This is unrelated to the experiment today. This is a neophyte brewer question. A couple of the recipes I've gotten are from Grizz from Brewcraft San Francisco. If you know that guy.
Yeah.
He's pretty big on, even if you're only doing steeping grains, he wants some base malt in there in case something incidentally converts, right? It's like so even if there's even if you're not planning on doing a mash, he'll recommend a pound or two of base malt. Is that a real thing, or is that
You might get a point or two out of it, but it's pointless.
I wonder if he's working on the same thing that Doc's talking about and trying to just get some enzymes in there to work on the extract.
Yeah, as long as as soon as you hit above like 160, maybe not. But as soon as it's like above 160, no.
no, I was basically.
But Doc's right. There's the potential that it's not. I know that you're told
But
that.
you're adding the extract.
How do you know how they mashed it?
Well, they mashed it.
You know how you're told, but what if they did? What if they only mashed for 20 minutes and they didn't reach full conversion? What if they expedited the process? Now, I'm not saying it's likely,
right?
But you can't just laugh it off like that's retarded. I think it's an interesting.
Well,
it doesn't
laugh it
hurt
off.
anything to put some enzymes in there just in case.
Well, it's extra $4 or $5 that I would rather not spend on that on the off chance that I'm trusting the supplier to do it properly.
I'm along the lines of JP. I think it might be
overkill.
Unless you're trying to get some of the base grain flavor.
Yeah,
like some Pilsner.
No, that's
flavor.
totally great. Yeah,
but as far as conversions,
but he said explicitly that's not why he's doing it. He's not doing it for base malt flavor. Like I was sort of that opinion based on my limited research. Right, is I'm not doing a mash. Why do I need any base malt? And he says no. you always need a little bit of enzyme because it'll make it. He said it would make it taste more like an all grain because it'll do some incidental conversion. But
It might.
See if that's a.
I mean, if you think about the extract when they're making it, they want the proper amount of yield whenever they do it. Even not Cooper's, like another place that just does extract.
Yeah,
all kinds of extracts, not even an extract, beer extract only manufacturer. Right? They're going to use the same amount of grain every batch, and they know exactly how much liquid and what the numbers are.
Right.
So when they're done making the extract, they have the same amount of yield and the product is consistent.
That makes sense.
So they're not going to do 20 minutes one time, 45 minutes the next time, and have everything swing wildly to be able to provide a consistent product.
Okay.
What about fermentability in the extract? Some extracts are more fermentable than the other ones.
Yeah.
So that I could see possibly his angle on that one is you get some extracts that they're not as fermentable as other ones, and you end up with a thicker, sweeter beer than you really want. Maybe.
Yeah.
There's some validity to that. But,
or it could just be that grainy flavor.
The die is cast at the maltster. I mean, when he makes the extract, if he measures at 154, that's just that's what you're going to have.
But if you get some of the beta in there, beta can cut it up a little bit more
Even
too.
with so the amylase would help. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe Grizz was just trying to get a few extra bucks out of Phil.
He does it pretty consistently though, because I'll even be in the store and I'll hear other people talking about recipes with them. He's like, "Hey, I got this extract based plus specialty grains recipe online. Can you fill it for me?" And he'll say, "You need some base malt in there to get some
few extra bucks out of them too."
Right, it's consistent with his beer.
It sounds like it could be just that's the way he's always done it and it's always worked.
Right.
I can't argue against it.
But there's no hard science behind it.
Yeah, I guess the main reason not to do it would be for money, right? Like you're not going to hurt your beer doing that.
No, not at all.
Cost a few more bucks.
No,
They can't hurt it.
It might be a little bit cloudy your beer if you don't convert it because you're going to get the starches in there.
It'd be interesting to do a side by side.
Yeah.
You steep your flavor and your color grains with some 2-row, and then the next batch you don't, or split it out and do it and do a side by side taste. That's the only way you're really going to do it.
Yeah, when he changed it, he wouldn't replace the specialty grains. He would just add in some base malt with whatever.
Right. But you would take those, split them in half, put some 2-row in each one, or in one, not the other, and see what happens.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
It's the only way you're going to know for sure.
It's the only way, and it's the science part of it.
But I mean, I wouldn't do it because it's.
I'm with JP.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it just because.
I like a take. The only way to know for sure is to do the experiment and taste the two side by side. But I wouldn't fucking do it. It's bullshit.
I wouldn't do it.
Right.
No.
Hey, I don't necessarily know that I'm going to die if I jump off the roof, but I wouldn't do it.
If your question is it going to hurt the beer? No.
Right. If your question is going to hurt if you jump off the roof, I don't know.
Maybe.
Try it.
Try and find out.
Is it going to hurt you to spend $3 more on your 5-gallon batch?
It's like, 3 less buffalo wings, so yeah.
Yeah. So probably.
Where do you go for buffalo wings at $3
Dude, there's a place next to
How much did you spend on your homebrew, Phil? Did you spend an extra $3 on 2-row? Where's my buffalo wings?
You're taking 3 buffalo wings off my side of the table and putting them in your beer.
Yeah.
Well, I lost 5 friends from your beer, Phil.
We have linens to buy. That $3 could buy a whole linen.
And besides, I don't like your beer friends anyway. We were $3 short of getting an extra blanket at Bed Bath & Beyond, but no.
I couldn't get my matching face towel because you spent $3 more on green.
It's actually eerie how close to Phil's fiance this sounds.
You guys are horrible.
Oh, hey, Vivo, I forgot you were there.
Yeah. If your friends were nicer, we would have got that matching face towel in our wedding present. But instead, we got 2-row.
To be fair,
Yeah.
she would actually never say any of those things, and that's one of the reasons I'm marrying her. So
That's bullshit.
Yeah, Phil, there's something called jokes and humor on the radio.
Yeah, by the way, hey, Phil, shut up.
Hey, it's not my radio show.
No.
Spoiling our gig here.
I wonder why.
Phil?
I think you're really funny, Phil. I love when you speak.
You know, when that guy said there's something about humor, he obviously doesn't know you very well like I do. You're the funniest man in my life.
Remember that time we were at Bed Bath & Beyond? How funny you were.
Oh, my God.
I said I wanted the maroon towels, and you said it didn't matter to you?
Oh, that was so funny,
You
Phil.
are so I love you. It matters.
You know what, Phil? Granted, you're not married yet, though.
There's still time.
Good.
Yeah, I'm sure we're
helping.
that means.
Are you coming on to me?
Not at all. I'm trying to get you to open up your eyes.
All right, we're going going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll finish our feedback. We'll do Drunk of the Week. We'll find out the winner of the Twitter game, and we'll make more fun of Phil. It's The Session. Hang in there.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
A vial of White Labs yeast is the key to your best beer. When you open a vial of White Labs yeast, you're giving your beer its best chance for a perfect fermentation. In addition to their already incredible variety of yeasts, White Labs is proud to announce WLP 90, San Diego's super yeast, now available year-round. WLP 90 is super clean, super fast fermenting, with low esters and has a neutral flavor and aroma profile. It's alcohol tolerant and highly flocculent. For more of the latest White Labs news, click over to whitelabs.com, where you can read reviews of yeast, learn in the lab section, and join the customer club. And if you should find yourself in San Diego, White Labs has a brand new training facility for craft brewers and home brewers alike. Whitelabs.com. Discover yeast, nutrients, enzymes, and more for commercial breweries, home brewers, and homebrew stores. White Labs. It's all in the vial. Here's a bite for beer lovers. Soft caramel made with real craft brew and coated in chocolate. And Hop Drops, hard candies made with real hop oil. Introducing Beer Candy from beercandy.com. Beer Candy's amazing caramels come in 4 mouth-watering flavors. IPA, bitter gold, wrapped in smooth white chocolate. Lager, made with a familiar beer from Boston and coated in milk chocolate. Lambic, soury Belgian goodness full of fresh raspberry and dipped in dark chocolate. And Stout, roasty cocoa chocolate insanity. Hop Drops are made with Fuggles or Cascade hops and are known as the candy that bites you back. Choose from sampler and full sizes of both and make your mouth jump to life. All at beercandy.com. Hop Drops and beer caramels. Satisfy your sweet tooth as only a beer lover could with Beer Candy. Visit beercandy.com today.
You know, when Israel had sinned and God was trying to decide who he gonna send down to save the earth, they was around. Somebody had suggested that he sent Abraham. He told Pharaoh that Sarah was his sister, not his wife. Then said, no, he can't send Noah. Said strictly illegal. Noah was a little wino. I had a fellow live next door to me who brewed homebrew in the bathtub. The beer we selling now not good enough. But it was strictly illegal. I don't think you want to do this to your children, do you? Man, you gonna make everybody up there wino. I don't think you want to do this to your children, do you? Man, you gonna make everybody up there wino. You know, we have people that live on the street that'll go into your local Dollar General store and buy shaving lotion for a high. Chevy Regal is stamped and approved by the government agency that says this is healthy. Strictly illegal. Bathtub. You don't want your child at a party. Our children already getting a hold to enough alcohol. Brewed homebrew in the bathtub. I can just see my bootlegger now. I can just see my bootlegger now. I got all I want for free. I got all I want for free. How you gonna make it in your home if you don't have the facilities to make sure it's healthy? In the bathtub. Noah was a little wino. Free. What gonna keep these folks from making moonshine in their house? Noah was a wino. What is MEAD need? What is that? You know, the thing about this deal that really scares me the most. Noah was a wino. You got to be scientifically trained. I don't think you want to do this to your children, do you? To determine that. Noah was a little wino. Chevy Regal is stamped and approved by the government agency that said this is healthy. Chevy Regal is stamped and approved. Strictly illegal. Strictly illegal. God was trying to decide who he gonna send down. Strictly illegal. Somebody had suggested that he sent Abraham. Strictly illegal. He told Pharaoh that Sarah was his strictly illegal sister, not his wife. Then said, "Oh, you can't send Noah." Said strictly illegal. Strictly illegal. What is MEAD need? Man, you gonna make everybody wild up. Strictly illegal. Man, you gonna make everybody wild up. Strictly illegal. Man, you gonna make everybody up there wild up.
Live. Beer Radio. The Brewing Network.
The Brewcasters. If you're just starting, don't be discouraged by all this stuff. It's so easy.
Just throw it together.
Put some sugar and some water and some yeast in there.
Yeah.
Brewing
Network.
The Brewcasters are back.
888-401 Beer.
Whatever.
Beer, Drunk of the Week. Call the number, 888-401-BEER. Or you could find me on Skype. I might answer it over there, too.
What's the Skype
Speaking
address?
of people's lives being ruined, every time Bevo does the chat room, the baby, Flabagale, is out there with Kate the Great.
Oh, God.
And Kate the Great gets all googly, baby-eyed.
Tick, tick,
tick.
Because my baby is so cute.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
but she's thinking that her baby would be cute too if she had
tick, tick, tick.
I got to keep telling her, listen, I'll punch you in the stomach.
Yeah. I tell mine, I said,
nice.
we're going to move into an apartment, second floor, and every time you leave, you're just going to fall down, just in case.
It's going to fall down the stairs.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah, the punch in the stomach is unrelated to a possible, just in
Well,
general.
that's rude.
Right.
I mean, I'm hoping she might break her neck.
I mean...
It's another way to knock her down the steps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of the bed. We're getting a trampoline.
I mean, I'd rather brew a bunch of bad extract beer and get married than have a baby. You know what I'm saying?
You've already brewed a bunch of bad extract beer.
Yeah, one down, one to go.
That's true. That's true.
And who says you got to get married to have a baby?
Yeah,
not this day and age.
These days.
Especially
where these days, it's been going on like that for a long time.
Now it's over 50%. Well, that's one of the things about being a guy is you could find out that you're a father any day of the week. Never know.
I'm putting on 2 condoms from now on. I'm afraid KTG's going to pull the goalie.
What's a condom?
2 cancel each other out. You need to put on 3. That's a rookie
That's
mistake.
fine. I'll do it. I'll do 3.
Pull the goalie.
Yeah. You know, stop taking that. You know, you forget. Oh, I forgot to take the pill.
Scott's going, I'm a goalie. I don't get it. Why would you put to have an extra man in the room?
You never
I don't
heard of
understand.
pulling the goalie?
Ooh,
You know,
that's a fucking hockey joke right there.
That broad just, quote unquote, forgets to take the pill that morning.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she's real horny, and you're like, wow, I usually don't get this kind of action. She pulled the goalie.
That's an empty net goal. It still counts.
No, it's the ones that go digging through the trash for the condom.
Oh.
What?
That's only if you bang Kobe Bryant.
To put it back in?
Yep.
The
Oh,
ones.
God. KTG wouldn't do that. She's a lady.
Well, and she doesn't like the trash.
No, she doesn't know where my trash
She'd be downgraded to Kate the Good if she did.
All right, I got, looks like Zach on Skype calling in for Drunk of the Week. Zach, what's happening, man?
We got a whole group here for spring break.
Oh, it's a spring
break! Oh, flash your titties!
Put the girls on.
I was just going to say that.
Girls on? Hold on. We got the girls. Hold on.
Let us find some girls. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Oh, I declined the video.
You know, if they flash, we're not going to be able to see.
Wow.
That's good. That's good radio.
Yeah.
Talk over there.
We're not hearing the girls.
I hear one.
What's a computer?
You mean this robot?
What's a screen?
How are your friends, Jeffrey?
What college are you?
Break, Florida.
What university in Florida?
No, Shippensburg, right No. Where are you from?
Or
Nobody knows?
Tampa Community College?
I don't know where am I going to college?
I don't think she's in college.
You guys are a bunch of townies, aren't you?
Let's put it this way. What high school do you go to, sweetheart? Where did you get your fake ID?
I don't know. I can't hear anything anyone is saying, so I don't know what Unionville.
All right.
Unionville.
Are you guys...
Put Zach on.
Oh, okay. Well,
They're 21 here.
I'm 21.
That's good.
It's fake shit.
I think he has a hit.
Less talk and more boobs.
You got a past drunk of the week here, man.
You guys,
Really?
You do sound drunk.
No, he said you got a past drunk of the week.
Yeah, both are true.
You got a veteran.
What? Can't find it.
All right, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Zach, you're in the running for drunk of the week, man. Grod's on the line. Hey, Grod, what's happening, brother? Grod.
Well, at least the call has gotten better.
Are you accidentally calling me, Grod?
Pull yourself off the tile.
He drunk Skyped you.
He's still shocked by technology.
Lunar distress call.
Are you saying he butt Skype?
Why does he just keep saying fuck?
Because I can hear Zach still. What's going on here?
Zach's gone. Stop listening to your radio.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach's gone.
Oh, man.
Well, he's farther away. It takes a lot longer.
Are you drunk, Grod?
I am, Justin.
All right. Well, that's good. What, do you got a holiday out there?
No, every second Monday I have off work.
Sick it.
What kind of ugly dog you got in your picture, in your Skype picture? Was that a Queensland healer?
That's him.
No, it's not. That's Miss Molly, the Staffordshire Bull Terrier. Unfortunately, she left us quite some time ago.
Oh, I'm sorry,
That's
Grod.
too bad.
JP, what are you doing?
Well, because now he can get a new one.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just helping the guy out.
He's trying to be positive in a roundabout
I do
way.
have a new.
Oh.
See? It's not sad.
What kind of... Teddy the Staffy is my new one.
Was it a Staffordshire Terrier?
Yeah, it's a Staffordshire Terrier.
Why don't you guys fucking talk about your swings, your
like
golf
a pit
swings?
bull?
So it's a pit.
It's a pit bull.
No, it's not a pit.
It's a Staffordshire Terrier.
It's a Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
It's not a pet. Do you pet your pit?
It's a pit.
Pit bull, yeah.
You pit your pet?
All right, Grod, what have you been drinking?
Fucking blue toilet water.
Okay. Man, this is fucking me up.
Thanks, Beaver.
Okay, what I'm drinking at the moment is my Saison. The recipe is from Jamil's Brewing Classic Styles. It's very nice beer.
I'm going to make one call it Says Off.
And
such an asshole.
Go, Grod, go, baby. Let's go.
All right, Grod, you're in the running. Your Skype connection is incredible. What is everything moving slow in Australia today?
Just give it to me, for fuck's sake.
Jesus. Have you ever won before, Grod?
No, mate.
No.
But also, I must say, I'm heading that way. I'm going to Chicago on the 19th of April.
Well, Bart doesn't go to Chicago.
I'm heading across to...
He sounds...
No. Shut up, mate.
All right, carry on.
Hey,
he sounds flooded.
Let me just finish what I'm saying.
All right.
I want to finish what I'm saying.
No, I haven't. Hey, anyway, I'm going to South Dakota, and then I'm going to fly down to New Orleans, and then I'm driving from New Orleans to north up to Chicago before I fly home again.
What the fuck did you make me listen to that for?
I was waiting for the part. And then we're going out to California and we're going to visit you. That didn't happen.
I want that 50 seconds back.
The coolest part of your trip is
Come on,
New
me and Tasty are old, and you made us listen to that.
You're wasting precious hours of their lives.
A finite amount of minutes here, Grod.
Actually, you know what? Tasty just dropped dead right
Yeah,
here
really.
during your phone call,
That
Grod.
was like my last deal. Come on.
You made that his last deal.
That's the way he wanted to go. He'd rather die than listen to your trip itinerary.
Oh, God, I can only pray to the God above that Tasty dies on my show and that some asshole wasted his last 5 minutes.
We could have got more brewing tips out of him, and instead...
Yeah, he could have been wrapping cookies in foil.
His tombstone will just say,
Six one, half dozen of the
Tell
other.
the truth, I was texting some girl while he was talking.
Is that right? See, Tasty was already sexting Grod. He didn't.
It wasn't sexting.
Aww.
Is Grod like
call whatever you want.
Is that like a normal thing to be called in Australia?
Grod.
Hi, I'm Grod.
Oh, Grod hung up. Oh.
Good. Maybe his internet did him a favor.
The internet's.
And thank you for the call, Grod. You're definitely in the running for Drunk of the Week because I have a feeling that when you're drunk, your friends tell you that you tell rambling stories. Is what's going to happen.
You talk with an accent when you're drunk.
All right, let's go to from what's happening.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
We're doing all right. How are you, brother?
I'm doing really good.
Drunk of the Week?
Yeah, I'm calling for Drunk of the Week.
Oh, he's like a breath of fresh air, isn't he? he formed a sentence and everything.
I would like to submit my application for Drunk of the Week.
Listen to this.
I asked a question. He answered it. I love it.
Clearly, he's not drunk enough,
I'm
loser.
Good, right?
All right. You been drinking a lot today or what?
Yeah, basically I've been drinking since noon. I'm Central Time, so I'm a little earlier than you guys.
All right.
But
we're daylight savings now.
Give me the total amount of beers that you think you've had today.
Total amount of beers. I don't know, probably close to 15, I guess. But
Wow.
I've been drinking pretty high alcohol beers.
And you don't slur, so what behavior do you exhibit when drunk?
I talk a lot, I guess. I get real talkative. But I actually was calling it, I was going to do a trick. I was going to earn Drunk of the Week.
Oh, we like that. What's the trick?
I don't know. Are you guys familiar with the movie Beer Fest?
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
of
Yes.
course.
Yeah. I interviewed the guys who made that movie.
I think Justin was in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Well, okay, in that movie they do something called a strikeout. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Remind us.
I don't remember it.
All right. A strikeout consists of taking a bong rip. While you're holding in the bong rip, you chug a beer, take a shot, and then exhale.
Now I remember.
I like it. All right. So you're going to do a strikeout.
Yeah, I'm going to do a strikeout on the air. I'm going to pass the phone over to my friend.
All right. Hang on.
Wow. How old are you?
What is the beer that you're going to chug?
It's actually a homebrew. It's Jamil's Blonde Ale.
Nice.
Out of Brewing Classic style.
Sounds like
okay.
Your blonde
And
ale.
what kind of weed are you going to rip?
I don't know. I didn't ask the dealer for the actual name.
Does it? Is it all? Is it sticky?
Whatever gets you fucked up.
It is. Yes, it is sticky, icky.
All right.
It didn't come with the card.
What now?
The card that tells you what it is and where.
We don't do that out here.
Oh, okay. What now? Is this like what kind of bong are we talking? Is this like a big old water
It's
bong?
pretty short. It's about it's a water bong about 6 inches tall, I guess. It's a pretty short one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
And what kind of shot are you going to take?
It is Evan Williams Tennessee whiskey. It's
pretty good.
Very nice. Kentucky whiskey.
The shot's a lot harder than the beer and the weed, sounds like.
Yeah, especially because you're holding in the weed all during the. You're not
Right,
allowed to
that's the
exhale
kicker.
until you've done all the drinking. Is that right?
Right. You exhale after it's all down.
Can I?
I think he might die on
Can
the
I ask
air.
the caller how old he is?
Yeah.
I might. If I do, I got a friend here. He'll call call 911. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, he won't save you, but he'll do 911.
Will he give you CPR? Would you kiss this guy? You want him to kiss you?
I have a person in the chat.
No, I mean I'll have to kiss the EMT that comes to save
Just do me a favor and have your friend also stricken our number from your cell phone record.
For the record, this did not happen.
And JP wants to know how old you are.
I'm actually 30 years old.
30. All right.
And you're doing this?
Going out with a bang.
I have a person in the
Wow.
chat who's also requesting for you to shoot some heroin in between there somewhere.
Between your toes.
I'll make a call. I don't have any on hand, but we'll see what happens.
I have a quick question. Did anybody else just hear World of Warcraft Dungeons and Dragons just make fun of for being 30 years old and doing a strikeout?
I definitely heard it.
I just
Doing
wanted to
bong
make
rips?
sure we're all on the same page.
Well, I mean, it makes sense to do it now because by your 40, you got to cut one of those out.
You can't do them all.
No, because at some point you have to grow up.
I'm not judging.
No, you've learned to do. You've learned to do something more.
I'm not judging.
It's
at
like,
all.
I'm not judging. As a matter of fact, I'm doing it when I get home.
Right.
I could do 2 strikes.
I know you hate when I go off topic, but
Yeah.
homie with the party of like 800 people says he has a topless girl calling you on Skype, and I feel like that's something I should
Answer
tell
the
you.
phone. Sorry, dude, you're in front of him for Drink of the Week.
Is it video Skype?
All right, stand by. I will accept the video from Zach.
I hope it's a fucking wiener.
That's not a topless.
She's
Monica,
close
you're in
to-
the way. Look, like I said,
She's
Not
not
yet.
topless, but she is in a
Not yet.
bra.
She's got
Not
some
yet.
real nice boobies.
She is in a bra.
Hey, booby lady.
There you go.
Is that a touch screen?
All right. Hello, young lady. Thank you for calling in. There they are. She's showing them to the camera
those
properly.
are pretty nice.
Pretty big.
Oh, boy. Do I.
They bounce nicely,
Sam
too.
rushed in here.
I also miss community college.
They are real, and I assure you, it's a state college.
But you know what? I bet your nipples are horrible.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Ask why there's only
Should I prove them wrong?
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, you can, but I'm pretty sure you have huge areolas.
Lovely turnaround.
Get ready to do the screen.
Yeah! God damn it, I missed college.
There you go.
Well, listen, JP was wrong. They're not ugly areolas.
Well, I don't know. We didn't really get it was a blurry shot.
Those are actually very nice nipples.
Can you stand still?
Move too much.
You did move
You moved
a little bit.
too much.
Yeah.
But, you're a little,
I didn't move fast enough, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Slow. It's a really low frame rate we have.
Yeah, stay very still and give us like a 10 Mississippi.
A real drunk of the week could probably just leave that bra off.
Yeah, a little jiggle in there.
First off, Scott the Jew, you're a little bit of a pervert, and that's okay.
Right.
We got our own Jew here.
Is he also a pervert?
Of course.
All right, bearded dude, get the fuck out of the way.
We'll find out later.
Oh, okay.
What's
We got
the
8 people plus 2.
what's the name of the college so I can write you down on the list here?
Shippensburg.
Sippensburg. All right, I gotcha.
Can you guys do a strikeout?
Thanks to your hot friend, you guys are now in the running for Drunk of the Week, man.
You're probably
Love you, Jay.
All right, brother. Cheers, man.
Fuck yourself, JP.
Well, I will. And I'll do it to your
Can we vote
sister
now?
there or whatever.
There's a bunch of topless people there, but they're mostly dudes.
Is it too early to vote?
That's who I was talking to in the background.
Too early to vote.
I want to vote.
I've prematurely voted.
I think I voted already on my pants.
That was A+ call screening, by the way.
I want to thank Sippensburg College because thanks to that phone call, Doc and Tasty will now stick around the Brewing Network for another year. Yeah. That's what he
Just
did.
on the promise.
That was a fucking recharge if I ever saw one. It's like year one again.
A
right
verbal
now.
tit, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've seen them.
All right.
By the way, Shippensburg University ranked 87th in the nation for the most STDs.
Oh, that's way down there.
That's
Shit.
pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Out of how many?
How many colleges are in there? I have no idea. I mean, there's 86 more that are high or above, but that's still pretty awful. They get a C+.
By the way, that was an incredible rack.
That was
she had big
awesome.
boobs.
Holy shit.
Wow. Good looking set of
I mean, the
boobs.
face was all right, but
I got my ticket to Florida.
If you do
I
one
hate
drunk of
Florida.
the week, you got to give it to the girl and not the dude who talked her into it.
Oh yeah, we have to give it to the group, I guess. Hey, are you still there?
Hello, yeah, I'm here.
All right,
just hang up, bro.
Anything you say is going to worsen your case.
Unless you got good areolas,
I'm
too.
making chicks here, so I don't think I can actually win this. So.
But are you willing to try with the strikeout?
Well, I mean, you got to be honest with me. Do I have a realistic chance here? I mean, I don't have a room full of naked chicks.
I'll tell you what.
You do in your head.
I'll tell you what. If you do the strikeout well, yeah, you definitely could sway my vote.
You never
mean, they might have to produce another set of boobs to compete with your strikeout.
If it's a good strikeout.
Actually, yeah, because there's actually something we're looking for in your performance.
Yeah, and it's tits.
No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I know.
So I'd say go for it. You got a chance here, buddy.
And actually, you might
all right.
move on up.
All right, well, I'm going to pass the phone over to my friend, and he'll do play-by-play while I'm doing the strikeout for you.
All right.
Can you put the phone next to the bong so I hear that blue, 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 blue thing?
We'll try. All right, hold on. All right, buddies.
Hey, Rust.
That's good.
Dusty Road.
There's the rip.
Here's the rip.
Oh, nice rip.
Clear that thing.
Oh, he's drinking the beer. He's pouring it on himself.
Just tickle him.
Beer.
Dusty, just tickle him.
Kick him in the nuts.
Evan's into his throat. Now he's exhaling and Ew.
Oh.
Hello?
Well done, sir. Wow.
Contact us afterwards. We'll give you a copy of that so you can play it for your kids.
What happened at the end?
What? I'm sorry, what?
What happened at the end?
I don't know.
Just
I can't
coughing.
breathe. That's what
I think the THC met the alcohol. There was a
Right.
collision of some sort.
The alcohol just cools the THC smoke.
Dude, that's pretty hardcore what you just did. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah,
now that I hit a heroin first.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, I'm good to go. Good to go.
Good.
Is that your first strikeout?
First one in a few years, yes.
I
but,
see.
Not first one ever, no.
I have a feeling that you should call us back in about 10 minutes and see how the strikeout did for him. So, all right, I got to take another call. You are in the running for Drunk of the Week. If this hits you like a ton of bricks, call back.
All right, and if I find a room full of naked chicks, I'll definitely call back and send pictures.
Attaboy. Thank you.
All right,
cheers, brother. All right, we got Tyler in North Dakota. Tyler, what's happening?
Not a whole lot. What are you guys doing?
Just looking at boobs.
What you thinking about?
What a creepy voice. What you doing?
Yeah.
You know, I really liked hearing you guys talk about that girl's area.
Did I hear you say looking at boobs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a Drunk of the Week thing that they sent in?
Hey, Bevo. Hey.
They sent kiddos in for Drunk of the Week.
What kind of shoes are you wearing?
What you do?
Would you say that you have like a flat foot or like an arch?
I probably have a taller arch. I don't know. I was calling earlier to because I had some insightful insight.
Oh yeah, what did you have?
When you were talking about people suggesting to add pale malts to their extract batches, I've known this to happen when people are adding things like Munich to kind of provide some enzyme action for the theory behind it that they were telling me is enzymes for your.
I think this
as you're steeping.
I think this is Icky's cousin.
Shit, but
Okay.
I kind of didn't.
First of
think
all,
that was
rape.
Really worth it. But I was trying to call in during the feedback segment. I think is when it was.
Yeah.
And Bevo wouldn't answer.
It's not the Bevo I know.
And so I took this picture of her that I have, and I stabbed it.
So I drew a picture of her,
and I've been poking it with needles for the whole show.
So
I keep doing it, but I lit it on fire and jizzed on it.
I accidentally lit my living room on fire as I was trying to stab Bevo's vagina.
Can we just have a moment real quick and all remember those boobs?
Yeah.
Because they were pretty
Those were
fucking
pretty nice.
perfect boobs.
Yeah, I've got a question for the caller.
So you wanna vote now,
They
you
refer to you as Uncle what?
I want to vote in my pants.
Yeah, right.
It's not cool.
Wait, hold on. I have no idea what you guys just said right now. I heard a bunch of words.
All right, you're ready for Drunk of the Week. Yeah. Hey, Tyler.
How good are you at taxidermy?
I'm sorry.
Uncle Tyler?
Just drinks tonight or prescription medication as well? No, I mean it.
Well, to be 100% honest, JP would be stoked because I had a mild I brewed.
There you go.
I had a Scottish 70. I had a winter warmer, quote unquote. That's basically a hoppy red.
And a chained up 12-year-old.
I had a small neighbor child.
A hoppy Vicodin lager.
I totally scored this rad blonde 8-year-old. Awesome.
The wife and I had some margaritas, and now I'm drinking one of the quote unquote Cascadian Dark Tales.
Hey Tyler,
with the blood of a cat.
IPAs.
Hey Tyler, how do you put up with the smell in there?
How do I put up with the smell in?
Yeah, you know, the smell of the dead women that you have stacked like cordwood in the other room. How do you deal with it?
Actually, it's interesting that you bring up dead women.
It's funny you should say that. Yeah.
It's funny you should say dead women. I just put in a new cellar in my house.
The old one was full.
Yeah.
Have I said rape yet?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to put rape as his descriptor in my list. All right, Tyler,
How do your friends know when you're drunk? Because I haven't raped them.
All right, you're in the running for Drunk of the Week, man. Thanks for the call. Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, I think the Brewing Network has a decision to make here. I think we need to come up with 2 awards.
That was incredible.
Drunk Chick of the Week and then Drunk of the Week.
Oh, that's an...
I think that's going to solve our problem tonight. If we
Because it would be a shame to take away from the drunkenness that are the other people, yet not reward that great rack.
Because we like that behavior.
And they just told me that Great Rack was going to call back and chug.
Will she be
Chug
doing
what?
it topless?
A dude?
Well, she's not going to put a shirt on.
Well, she hasn't really
Not if I have anything to
chewed
say
in the
about it.
winner for Drunk of the Week yet.
It's still up in the air.
I think that a chug call might help her.
A topless chug, it would guarantee it, wouldn't it?
That'd be the
It'd be
strikeout?
guaranteed.
Well, if she's at a...
They're calling now.
She's at a party, so she's probably going to chug a dude.
How long till Sam runs?
Hello, folks. Zach, you're back on the line, buddy.
We're seeing the wrong party. There you go. Zach, get the fuck out of the way. Zach, get out of the way.
All right, we're doing a Are we doing a topless chug?
Tilt the camera down a little bit more, please.
Yeah, move that camera down. There we go.
There we go.
Right.
Get a little closer, please, would you?
And the topless chug has begun.
I'm going to take a picture of this.
There's a hand reaching. Wow, that was a fast chug.
Oh! Whoa!
Incredibly fast.
Wow.
Hey, if I can beat that chug, would you you can take pictures and mail it into us because we're all creepy fucking
I know you got
loners
talent,
here.
JP. That's just.
That's true. JP can
Sure
really...
then. Don't cover those. Put your hand.
You know you're proud of him, baby.
No, JP's weekend job that just enables him.
I agree with you but I'll tell you, that was a pretty damn fast chug.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. What's your name, young lady? Jordan, that's a pretty gnarly chugging skill you got there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. How many years in college now? 3?
Senior.
So you've got some experience under you.
Yeah, senior chemistry major.
Wow.
Doc, she's after your own heart. And is your boyfriend in the room there also?
Yo, that'd be me.
That's you. You're a liberal guy. I like this guy. He's like, listen, I don't care what you have to show, sweetheart.
You the great, that's all.
I'm going, that a boy. Well, listen, I think I speak for everybody in the room when I say congratulations on winning Drunk of the Week. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And we got a celebration shot there at the end, too.
Yeah.
So,
Yahoo.
Yeah. All right, well, feel free to stay on the line. I mean, you know.
Yeah, thanks for moving the camera up so we can see your face, dude.
Medal, by the way.
JP.
Yeah, Zach, I'll be sending out the medal, but it does belong to Jordan. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She'll get it.
Yeah, she will.
All right. Well, listen, future of our country, you guys keep it up out there, will you?
We'll do our best, man.
All right, brother. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
All right. Look at, she earned it, Tasty. Even with the 2 separate, after chugging topless, she's drunk. I mean, she's going to regret that in the morning.
Oh, yeah, she is.
She's got the heart of the
Can I homeschool my child through college?
I'm afraid to stand up right now. You know?
I'm afraid to see you stand. Well, we're not going to see it either way. We're not going to notice.
True. You won't notice. I like how Sam came running into the room, too.
With the baby.
With the baby. Sam's babysitting out there, goes running in.
I went out to get another beer, and he about knocked me down the hallway.
Sam's like, I got to vote!
You were like, they're calling back, and I was like, count down till Sam comes in. 10. And I was like, no, 5. 4.
Actually, Sam?
I was going to vote for the raper.
You prefer the raper.
I was too.
Bevo also was going to vote. Was anybody else going to? I don't want to give it out unfoundedly. Was there another vote?
I'm with Tasty about having 2 separate.
Well,
because he had help.
Right.
We'll see what it turns into. But
yeah.
Obviously, the formula for winning has been laid out there.
I think you can give it a Yeah, I wonder if Sarah 36C is going to call in to defend her boob title.
No chance.
I'll tell you, Jordan did just show up Sarah 36C because Sarah 36C never removed the holders.
Right. Well, also, plus Jordan's like 18 years old.
Right.
And I like her chemistry.
Yeah, I think you should give it to Jordan kind of non-ironically. That actually took guts.
Yeah, she was drunk. No. Also, Phil's never going to see another set of tits again, so he's like, give it to Jordan.
I'll see one.
He probably not.
Right. Bevo's laughing because she's like, yeah, Sam doesn't see him either.
Sure he does.
Not that
Yeah,
when
right.
I'm breastfeeding.
When you're feeding.
The side of
when
him.
you've got your baby tassel on.
They're huge, but they're ugly. Don't look at them.
Well, listen, I feel bad that this week, you were willing to perform the strikeout, but your competition was naked. And the same, and Tyler, you keep it up, buddy, because you got a strong chance to win this thing in the future.
Was Tyler the raper?
Yeah.
Yeah, raper. You keep on going.
Tyler the raper.
Call back, Tyler.
Tyler the raper.
Like
you've got a good chance to win this thing.
He was talking like he was horizontal, too.
I think it was upside down.
Well, it's hard to talk when you're sitting in a pool of someone else's blood. I just got this inflatable kiddie pool.
Oh,
boy. Yeah, beer tip
come
in there,
on.
too.
No.
We didn't listen.
Look, he could enunciate well.
Yeah,
Granted, there was a little bit of saliva involved.
So could
I don't
Gacy.
think it was his saliva, but...
Are you sure it wasn't blood from the arm that he was eating?
Could be.
I mean, why is it that on the weeks that because there are weeks where we get just shit for Drunk of the Week submissions, right? If the tits would come in then, I wouldn't feel bad about it. But on a day like today where the competition is stiff...
Close
any other week, buddy, it would have been you.
Yeah, the judging was stiff also.
Man. Well, Zach, you picked yourself a winner there, and I like that you're not a douchey college kid like, oh, don't show your boobs. I'm so jealous. Like, JP's going to steal you away if you show them.
Well, how about the other way?
That's a man, is what he is. He's confident.
Pretty healthy.
Jay, what if he was the other way? Come on. Show your boobs.
That gets a little creepy, too.
That goes creepy, too. So.
He's right in the middle. He goes, look, if you want to help us win, show him.
Yeah, but he knows that he's not going to marry this broad. She's college friend. That's all. She's a college girl.
No. He knows she's got an awesome rack.
Now, Jordan, my number is...
Exactly. Jordan knows what she's
925.
Hey.
All right. Well, good show, everybody. Round of applause to you guys. Okay. I think I read off all my shit. Next week...
got to finish up
Jordan
feedback.
is in the...
right.
Jordan is in the chat room, and she just said it was her choice because her rack is awesome.
She knows. See what I mean? She knows.
She's right. And, and enjoy it while you can. Because let's be honest... Like, Bevo's is great right now, but give that a few months, and we're going to be making fun of those things, pointing at the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Like rocks and socks.
And Jordan, you're a lovely young lady.
You seemed like you have a nice personality.
She's probably got 7 or 8 more years to go.
She's really good at chemistry.
Hey, she could probably be paying for college on the stripper
She's a
pole,
chemistry major.
Yeah.
With a nice rack. But
thanks, Doc.
Come on.
And hair.
There's a lot of good there.
And 2 eyes.
All right, let me get through this feedback. Jesus, what are you doing? JP, can't you just highlight the important part?
I was so happy that you didn't.
Normally I do.
Do feedback.
All right, just listen to the Boulder Beer interview. We did the song already in the line. I'm just gonna.
I wasn't here. It doesn't count.
The Boulder Beer interview, and wanted to write in thanking you. I've been a listener since day one. I've always listened to with a touch of jealousy when you talk about all the great beers you're able to enjoy there in NorCal. I live in southeast Louisiana, between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. And while the craft beer scene here is really enjoying a renaissance... Okay, Jesus. JP, I'll
skip.
Down?
I'm sorry. I thought it was good. I'll skip it to the end. He is excited that we finally had a guest on that he has availability to get their beer. Because most of the guests we have on, he can't get their beer because his place sucks for beer.
Which guest?
But he was Boulder Beer.
Oh, okay.
Really, JP? You couldn't do that ahead of time? Like, if that's the message...
I don't know. I figured it was a good... I'm sorry. I thought it was a good thing. And you're just mad because there was another long one left over. And you want to go. But I thought it was a good. It was a good
this
feedback.
From the guy that if a caller says more than 6 words is like, God, I'm bored to death.
I am. But I thought it was good for our guest last week to hear the accolades, and it was good for us because once we get off the air, you just tell us how shitty we are.
That's true.
How much fun is it for somebody that we talk about these awesome beers and he can't get any? So.
Here's a good part. In the PS, Steve writes in, I never wrote in before, but wanted to say thanks for the shout-out to me concerning my safety after Hurricane Katrina hit, where I lived in 2005. I'm a paramedic in Baton Rouge and had to get out of work and all that shit. Get out and work in all that shit.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like one of the family there that you remembered me and gave me a shout out. Not forgotten from Steve. Well, I'm glad we did that. We don't do that often because we're douchebags.
That was a good one.
So, and this next one, too. Jake writes in, Justin.
Highlighter?
He says the subject says it all, but I don't have the subject here. So, I found you guys 5 months ago. Far behind. I'm listening. I can't participate in this shit.
I love Doc. And
JP,
blah, blah, blah.
you
I love
suck
Doc
a bag
and
of
blah,
dicks right now.
Yeah.
I love all the shows.
Especially Doc.
Listen 10 hours a day. The other reason I want to say thanks is a bit more personal. I received a phone call about 5 months ago and was shocked to find out that I'd recently been accused of a crime that I did not commit 6 years ago.
Rape.
That's interesting.
It's got to be.
Oh, this is Tyler? The consequences I'm facing by choosing to fight this are really horrifying for a 23-year-old kid eager to try to make something for himself in this world.
Well, wasn't he a minor when this occurred?
Yeah. But I found you guys at the same time that this all started, and the BN has been my absolute saving grace. You provide me with humor to make me laugh and the eagerness to go out and do what I love, brew beer as often as I can. My brews have improved through my legal battle. Why doesn't he tell us what his legal battle is?
It's rape.
He never says what his legal is.
No, that's why I think it's rape. It's got to be rape.
No.
Enough of the downer
He'd have been
stories.
17,
He
I
says,
think.
my girlfriend lives in Reno, and I'm flying out there next week during spring break. Oh, that'd be now, I guess. We're taking a trip all around Northern California. We're going to try to go to Concord, hit up 21st Amendment, Toronado.
Let's have a beer.
Blah, blah. I'm going to these different places. I'm going to try to listen. JP, what is the fucking point of this email?
I don't remember.
I just here it is. Really, just wanted to say thanks to you and everyone. All right, well, thank.
There we go.
Now, listen, I love these emails coming. Don't get me wrong; it's never, but I don't got to. JP, I don't have to read them on air.
Maybe I was feeling good.
Maybe I was hungover this week when you did this.
It was Friday. Yeah, actually, I was.
Didn't even mention you, good or bad.
I know it's pretty. Look, I thought it was. They were two nice emails about how we helped this guy get through a tough time in his life,
you're right.
and he loves us for it.
So just give
And
me
I thought
that
it was
paragraph.
good. But he didn't write it like that. It's all this crap that I thought maybe would be good. And look, you're yelling at me, and it's a good bit now. So I did a good thing.
All right, Jake, thank you for the letter. It is very nice things that you've said, and to hear it's not your fault. It's not you. It's JP.
It's right. Wait, what?
It's not like every girlfriend JP's. It's not me. It's you, JP.
You guys should write these emails to us because we do read them. We just don't need to read them on the air.
Right.
Bevos is telling Sarah 36C that it's too late for her to call in.
What?
Not if she's going to show us her
Skype
boobies.
Right. So, Sarah, if you Skype in and show us your milk cans.
Put her on, Beav. Unbusy and put her on.
I haven't heard her sweet voice in a while. Put
her on. I mean, we have to let her defend her title.
Right.
You know.
We actually haven't heard from her in a while.
Can you read another long-winded email that JP
Can you read another long email that leads to absolutely nothing?
The more rambling, the better.
I mean, I was waiting for some, I thought for sure, now, if JP's going to put this in here, there must be some,
you want to
payoff.
talk about wasting the last
Where's the payoff?
5 minutes of Tasty's life. Shit.
It's like a joke with no punchline.
I just helped you out, Bevo.
Hey, by the way,
me
were
off,
those
you
C's or
dick.
D's?
Yeah,
Those are
that's what I
D's,
do to
right?
women.
Good question.
Anybody guys all saw
Jordan?
them?
Oh, yeah,
those are
teacups.
Those were D's?
Oh, yeah.
They're not just real big C's?
No, 34D, 36D.
It is hard to see how
So
tall
remember
she
now,
was,
Sarah-
but
Sarah's
I'm
gonna have
thinking
to-
Ds.
No, they're D's.
Unless she's 5'1".
They're 34 Ds.
Yeah.
What? How do you know these things?
She messaged me.
Oh, I see.
I mean, Taryn, I love you very much.
Oh,
Your boobs are
JP's
great.
got the private message going on over there.
Hotline going.
It's all about stats.
I got a hotline.
That's the only reason he's getting it.
I got good boob
Sarah's
instincts.
on line 1.
All right. Let's talk to Sarah. This is not a waste of Tasty's last minutes. Sarah, what's happening?
But it could increase them.
Did I hear the word tasty? That's exciting.
See?
I'm
Now,
already
Sarah-
bored. I'm already bored.
I love you, Sarah.
I mean, Jordan really stepped it up tonight.
Thanks, Tasty.
You know,
Jordan was exciting before she opened her mouth.
It's true.
Well, I just wanted to say that,
Lord.
the younger girls don't always bring the better goods. They don't always have the experience.
Well, but we're not going to get to enjoy that. I mean, you're on the other side of the country and you're married. So we're not interested in your experience all the time, Sarah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a lovely young lady.
I don't mind if you lay there either. It doesn't matter to me.
JP.
It's our experience we're interested in.
Yeah. You can lay there for 10 seconds. It's fine.
30 maybe.
All right. 8 if you're Jordan.
Dude, wouldn't even put it in.
Well, I'm only slightly impressed by her skills.
Right.
You didn't see it.
I could bring much better.
Well,
you've been saying that for a year.
You've got our Skype number.
Now we're talking down to her.
When you're ready, Sarah.
She used to be like the be-in like trophy.
It's not on the computer, so I have to download that.
We have to download it.
No, she has to download so she can Skype.
Oh, I see.
Jordan didn't have to download it.
Well, no, she has a boyfriend to do it for her.
That's true, yeah. Jordan didn't even know where the fucking what a computer was.
Yeah.
Talk into what?
Look in the
that
robot.
thing. That colorful thing?
You mean the robot?
No, those
are
not the television.
No, those are plants.
I thought we only saw naked pictures on that.
Right. And we do. No, Sarah, I'm just saying Jordan stepped it up. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. It was a nice...
It's okay. I will definitely defend what goods I have at some point in the future. Tonight was her night.
Wake us up when that happens.
I like this.
You're a good sport, Sarah.
Good sport. You got 1 week.
Doc's got a deadline. All right, Sarah. Are you going to go to NHC, Sarah?
No, but I'm going to be up there for Firestone Walker.
Oh, you're going to we're going to that beer festival. We'll be there. So
I know. I'm excited. I'm pretty pumped for it.
All right.
So I'll definitely be there enjoying myself.
We're going to have a boob signing booth there. So
I know, definitely.
She knows.
I plan on getting autographs across everything.
Great, fantastic. Yeah, we're also going to have JP will be having a vagina signing booth
inside though, internals only.
Right. All right, Sarah. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
I'm going to have a water sports booth.
There you go, Sarah.
You pee on our guests. What's going on?
See how the game gets upped a little bit there, Jay?
It does, yeah.
Their games gets,
you win the game.
We got to be careful not to vote too early in the program. I mean, we got a second view thanks to my guidance, Tasty. You were ready to vote in the beginning,
right?
But we got the.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, JP did a great job.
I coaxed them out.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
It was a good team effort to
those
keep
are good
it going.
skills. You guys are going to have to. Yeah,
I told you guys.
It's a good thing we pulled out.
Bevo did her job originally.
Bevo's part of the team.
Yeah, she is. And then I said, she's not topless. And then JP, he put in the finishing shot there.
And Doc said, oh, shit, I just finished. And
Phil's like, I love my
wife.
wife.
And then Sam ran in with my baby.
Right. Yeah.
Only one of those things that actually happened.
Right. What a show, huh, folks? What
pretty
a
good.
show.
Yeah. And we still have the Twitter game to do.
All right, what is the... Yes, what was our Twitter game?
The Twitter question was all the blood rushes back to my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Justin skydives and his chute doesn't open. What are his last words?
Aha.
We got some decent ones. A lot of biscuit references.
I'm pretty sure my last word would actually... If no one said this, they're not the winner. My last words would be Jordan.
What?
Right now.
My last word.
Jordan, she spells her name with a Y, so she does get taken down half a point in my book now.
Where is the Y?
G-O... It's Jordan.
D-Y-N.
At the start.
D-Y-N.
D-Y-N, yep.
I'm still not getting that part.
It's not her fault. That's her parents' fault.
No, she's old enough to change it. Anyways.
How about...
It's a good one.
I wish my shorts were clean.
You have to tweet
There were
it,
some of those.
I don't tweet.
So Fierce Beard says, coming to meet you, Biscuit.
Oh, I like that.
Or Biscuit.
Is that the same one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Rufus the Squid says, maybe he'd finally say what's too central to mention on internet radio.
All right.
That's pretty good. Jack Pine Brewery says, dear God, please don't let JP run the Brewing Network.
Yeah, I might say that.
He says that when he's alive.
I might say that, yeah.
Kung Fu Monkey 12 says, why? Why haven't I seen Bevo's boobs, damn it?
I would say that. That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
You've seen enough boobs tonight. Get over yourself.
But they're not yours, Bevo.
They're gross.
Brad Brewing says, oh, I get it now. JP asked if I wanted him to pack my parachute, not the other chute. My bad. Your poop chute.
It's a gay joke.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Fat on the inside
I like their name.
says, my only regret is I never learned to make good beer.
Yeah.
Bert's Boys Brewing says, good noon.
All right.
Matthew, whatever, says, oh shit, what about my Cantillon? And then Nico Brew says, please thoroughly sanitize my coffin.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So,
I do like that one. I was kind of sold on another two until that last one from Nico Brew. It's a
pretty good one.
Well, my favorites are Nico Brew, the very first one, Here I Come Biscuit or something like that.
Yep.
And there was another one.
Too sensual
on
internet
radio.
You can't even do it on the internet.
I don't know if that was it. What was before that?
Before that was the biscuit.
Oh no, it was the Bevo's Boobs one.
Ah.
I'd be likely to say like, I didn't even see the Bevo's Boobs yet.
No, it was the
Those are my three.
I can't turn over the BN to JP.
I do.
That's a good one, too.
Maybe I shouldn't vote because I like them all.
But that's more of what the audience would say, I think, when they found out. Not necessarily what you'd say on the way down. They would rather be ended than run by me.
Well, except that it is my legacy, and I'd be concerned that you're in charge of that too. You
should be.
Hey, Bevo, when remember when Terrence was tasting it off the tap?
Yeah.
What does this have to do with the Twitter game?
No, it had to do with her Bevo's boobs.
Oh.
No, I don't.
And then Sammy.
Oh, no.
He still hasn't?
No.
Sam seemed grossed out by the fact.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? What's your favorite?
No, I like I didn't get to see Bevo's boobs.
All right. Tasty vote?
I got to vote for that.
Yeah. Moscow, what
I
do you
like
think?
the maybe he'd finally say what's too sensual to mention.
I kind of like that, too.
I like that,
I like
too.
that, and please sanitize my coffin.
Vote on one, Jip. And you too, Doc. You got to vote on one.
Please sanitize my coffin.
All right, there's one vote.
Yeah, I'll vote for that, too.
All right, 2 votes. Beav, what's your vote?
You really want to see my boobs.
All right, Beav, so that's...
getting the message.
All right, so we have 2 coffin votes and 2 boob votes, because Tasty voted that too. Moscow?
I didn't vote boobs. No, I voted the sensual.
No, Tasty voted boobs and Bevo.
Okay, yeah.
What's your... You voted sensual thing.
Yes.
So we still have a tiebreaker. Phil?
I think the best one was "Don't Let JP Run the Brewing Network."
All right, that's another.
But between those, "Sanitize My Coffin" is much more clever.
That is now. So if I vote boobs, we're at a stalemate. I'd have to vote coffin.
Bring Sammy in.
I'm glad you're doing that math because I wouldn't even known.
Although I said I shouldn't vote, which means sanitize my coffin is the winner of the Twitter game today. So
why? Because you're going to be dead and you still want to sanitize coffin.
And in addition to the prize pack, we're going to give the winner 8 ounces of hops from Nico Brew.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. But Nico Brew won, so
make it 20,000 hops.
He gets his own 8 ounces. Might as well make it 16 ounces, I guess.
His
32.
His own 8 inches.
That's how we're going to do it. Okay, is that it? Did I
Do you
miss
have one
anything?
word feedback?
No,
at least.
I did.
Really, a real long one?
Come on.
Was it one with the limerick? Because
There's a limerick. Come on.
I sent the limerick.
Just because you quit doesn't mean it wasn't
only
there.
if JP took out the only funny feedback we had this week. I don't have anything else in my feedback.
Trust me, it's not...
Did he send it to feedback or did he send it to my email?
I don't know.
I'm sure he sent it to feedback, and I'm sure I saw it, and I'm sure it was probably great.
Wait, JP didn't think it was funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I do get some to my personal email, but no, I don't see any limerick here. I did get a nice thank you email from Jason, he's written in quite a bit, and he's about to deploy. He just was, it was a short and sweet. He basically would say, "It's Jason from Travis Air Force Base. I'm drinking torpedoes, cooking dinner for the family, rocking out to Trophy Fire, and I head out at 3 a.m. for Qatar for 6 months. I love the BN and all it stands for. Can't wait to get back. Can't wait for the peaceful civilian life where I can make all these awesome beer fests." Anyways, we'll be listening from there.
Does he like scope?
Good luck to Jason.
Stay safe, Jason.
Yeah.
Finish up.
Qatar. Man, it's far.
Qatar!
Bart doesn't go to Qatar, right?
Not a lot of
No.
beer.
Yeah, I've probably never been there.
Yeah.
It's good beer.
Good luck out there, man.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Watch your 6, bro. That's military talk.
I see. Good job. Is it?
It's gay talk, too.
Is it?
Oh, it's open.
Well, I don't know about that.
Gay talk.
Seriously, keep watching
Open your 6. I'm watching your 6, bro.
Yeah, I'm watching your 6 is gay talk. Or it's talk from Tyler the Raper. Watching your 6.
I'm in your 6.
JP, do we have more? Do we have plugs this week?
We do have plugs this week.
All right. Well, don't forget, next week I'm officially on vacation. Yeah, this is fantastic. I'm excited, which means I get 2 weeks off because the final Sunday of the month we're off. It's our regular scheduled off week. So you guys are stuck. I mean, JP is doing the show next week with Ladyface Ale House. Is that right?
Yeah.
Ladyface.
Oh, they make such good beers.
Oh, yeah? You're a fan?
I'm a big fan.
Okay.
Love Ladyface.
Was this priorly cleared with me? I don't think
It was
so.
not cleared with you, Doc, but it is
What
what
happened
it
to
is.
the board of directors thing?
God damn you.
Sorry, I bypassed the board on this one. I'm doing the Disney World thing with the family. Yeah.
Oh, Florida style. Oh,
I went there when I was a kid. My dad took
Yeah.
me when I was a kid, and now my dad is taking me and KTG and my nephew, little Justin.
Why not me? We're a package. Maybe you forgot that.
He doesn't. He's not too sure about you. He listens to the show, and he's not too sure.
You know what, dude? Whatever. That's the last time I buy pills for him when he's... Wait, shit.
You can show him all the dark places.
You know, the only 2 times I've been to Orlando, it fucking rains the whole time.
Yeah, it does.
It's just, it's like a rainforest out there,
Yeah.
but without the forest.
Yeah.
Unless you count fat people.
It's a forest full of fat trees.
Flesh forest.
Yeah.
Isn't Crotch Rod around there?
He's in Florida. I'm not sure how close he is to Orlando. But it just rains and rains.
It does. But it'll burn for 15, 20 minutes and it'll stop. Okay, we're good.
But I'm looking forward to it anyway. It'll be fun. And then I end the trip in Vegas because that's where we have to drop off my nephew for my brother to pick him up in the Vegas area. Isn't that weird, dropping off a kid in Vegas?
Are you going to give him $5 to hit the table?
Yeah, like, here you go, kid. He's like 6.
I got a 20-minute layover.
Here you go, kid. Here's $5.
Okay, you go towards gate C.
All
Good.
black.
Good luck. Carry my golf clubs, will you?
Is he going to caddy for you?
He's going to caddy for me. Little Jay's going to caddy. All right, so I'm off next week, but JP and the crew will be here taking care of you, so be nice to them and hang out with Ladyface Ale House.
Yeah.
Support all our sponsors, especially More Beer, the sponsor of this here program. You can go to morebeer.com and check it out.
Check it out.
Are we done except for JP's job?
We're out of here.
We're done.
Well,
right,
out,
JP.
over, and...
Do your thing.
All right, thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can have absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. The new season of Justin's show, Carpool Showdown, is underway. Watch it on Coffee TV 20 or online at some point in the future at coffeetv20.com. Follow JP on Twitter at MajorJip if you like trivial complaints, and be sure to read his blog at moderndaymerrick.blogspot.com. Moscow has some paintings for sale or something. Check out the beer art thread in the BN forum, soon to be on Twitter. For some good beer insight and info, follow Nate at Nathan Homebrew and Nicole at Beer Muse on Twitter as well. And be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook and once again on Twitter. Thank you very much.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP